Mike, here we go. You know I couldn't start it with my mic not muted, folks. Welcome back to another amazing live edition of the USFL Podcast. And this isn't just any live edition of the podcast. This is the 2023 USFL College Draft, baby. Zach, how you feeling today, my man?
Life is good. Life is good. I am thrilled to see what we're going to be having today. Big occasion for the league. A lot of implications, a lot of stuff we got to jump into. And Jesus, we're 15 minutes away.
Yep.
And then we'll see where my Michigan Panthers are going to be picking up. Good old Steve Case or good old Mike Nolan. They are going to have something exciting for that first overall pick. Because damn it, they better pick something good. They earned it over the Maulers. No offense, David Klinsky. I see you in the chat. I'm just saying. 33-21. We got this one fair and square.
You know, it's a little bit different for all the folks tuning in here. One, thank you. First, hey, if you want to do us a solid, make sure you like the video, make sure other people see it. And hey, if you want to do another one, take a step above and beyond. Go ahead and share the link over on social media. Let everybody know that there is live coverage of the 2023 USFL College Draft right over here on YouTube. And hey, while you're at it, if you're not already, make sure you're following at USFL Podcast over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now we got the TikTok rocking and rolling. So make sure you're popping over there. Get your dances on and get signed up. And since we're over here on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell. It builds morale. We got a big day ahead of us. Now let's talk about a couple of the subtle differences. You know, now last year, full-on draft, going by round, position by round, basically filling your rosters. Now this time around, interesting approach. We're doing a college draft, very similar to the NFL. So people have been at, what's the draft pool? What's the draft pool? It's the same draft pool. Now, this is purely for players' rights. So what does that mean? Well, Zach, go ahead.
Well, simple be it. Look, this is kind of a simple deal across any draft. When you pick up a player, you are essentially saying that these rights to the player, if they want to sign in the league, they're going to your team. That is what you are doing. So this draft in particular, unlike last year's, which credit still had rights, but more than not, it was about signings, and those are going to be free agents eventually that signed on. This case, you have it where teams are looking at the overall talent pool out of eligible, where there's college graduates, those have been out of high school for 3 years as well for eligibility or have exhausted their college eligibility at this time frame. They're looking to secure guys that maybe could be on that fringe of being a star if they were to choose this avenue, and someone that can contribute that maybe wants to go that alternative path, say they don't get into the NFL or the like. So I would say the best way to compare this, and this is just kind of, if you're thinking of something that's similar. So like, the NFL, most of the time you see the rights, they draft someone and those rights, they go. Almost no one refuses going to an NFL team. My best comparison would say is the CFL. The CFL draft's very similar in a way. You do a lot. It's a similar rights setup. Thing is that you see who might want to take the jump to the CFL. The USFL, that's exactly what they're doing. They are targeting young college talent. They want to get them in. Thing is, you should not expect these guys, I would say, day one in training camp.
In fact, if anything, they're not even counting against the training camp rosters. Right. So that, I think, tells you a lot right there. But sorry, go on.
Well, and I'm glad you reiterated that. So again, reiteration as well, 58-man rosters for training camp. That is what the leagues have to cut down to, or they have to get started with. We'll get a little more further into that because that element affects one specific team in this draft that we'll kind of touch on if we're real quick when we get to this point. But your rights, you would basically say a player wants to get signed on and you want to say, shift them into your roster later on in the season, or come next year, which this is where this I think is more crucial, is you're going to see a lot of guys that say they don't make those NFL rosters this off season. Come next season with the USFL, then you can go, oh, hey, my rights are with this team. You mind if I join? And then, say like a Mike Riley, who's looking for, that next Kevontae Turpin archetype. He goes, yeah, man, come on in. Let's have a blast. Season 3, let's do it. Or if you're midway through season 2 and say you don't get picked up in the draft and you just say screw it and you go right in and there's a roster spot for you, There you go.
Now that's what I think is the most intriguing about this is it's like hedging the bets for the future, right? And the greatest analogy I could make here is let's look at a guy like Paxton Lynch, right? Let's say the USFL was around when Paxton Lynch was being drafted. Of course, he gets drafted by the NFL. He's going to the NFL. But let's say at the same time he was drafted by the Generals. If he would have choose to go to the USFL like he did last year, he would have then just automatically been assigned to the Generals. There wouldn't be, none of the other teams would have a chance to get into it unless there was a trade in the situation. So again, maybe not this year, but when we start looking at year 2, year 3, maybe year 4 after this draft, I think we could see some of these guys filter in. And like you said, Coach Riley, Coach Andrus, some of these guys, it might be their lucky day, right?
Right. I think that's something you're going to see with this is, I'm not 100% sure what all the coaches are thinking. Are some being more aggressive and they're wanting to get like a guy that, maybe is, you can see as an NFL fan, you're like, ooh, that dude could be sneaky good, but maybe he doesn't make the roster because of roster limitations. And then he goes and takes that chance to USFL, or do they go for guys that they truly think will be unrestricted free agents, undrafted free agents, that is, right out of the gate, that you can more openly talk to? That's a fascinating element to this.
That's what's amazing about this, because here's my take is I think we're going to see a mix. Now, how bold are the coaches going to be? Because again, you could go for like a Stetson Bennett with your first pick, right? You might not get him this next year, but by doing that, you're essentially foregoing a pick that you probably have a higher likelihood of getting. So there is still some risk management involved in this. And so it'll be interesting to see what the coaches' strategies are here. Now, talking about coaches, and I know both of our coaches have a shorter runway than, let's say, Skip Holtz, Bart Andrus, some of the others that have, were around last year. And I'm interested to see, one, how different of a take do we see them put what types of different picks do we see them go for those teams? But more importantly, like, what's the overall strat? Again, you're coming in, this is a little bit more theoretical, so maybe you have a little bit more fun with it. I'm going to go out there and say it. I think Stetson Bennett gets picked up. See, if you could tell, Zach, I practiced the name. I got it down for this show, and this show I'm ready.
I'm so proud of you, because last time you brought that name on here, you completely floundered it. But look, I it's funny. You're not the first person to bring up Stetson Bennett. I don't know if that's a thing. I think Bennett, like, to me, that's a guy, if you wanted to be ballsy, like if you wanted to be a coach's ballsy, say, I'll hedge a bet. That's where you're going with that to me. But like, I don't know. That's what's fascinating, is you can see a person like that where it's like, he's got the pedigree, but you're not sure how the roster in situation for the NFL would be for him. That's what you're angling on right now. Real quick, I want to say this because I just saw the chat. We have a gentleman from England watching in today on our stream. That is freaking awesome. Ben Carey, thanks for tuning in, by the way. Hope it's probably a little later for you. Us, it's more like afternoon in the U.S.
Probably like 5 or 6 o'clock over there. Let's see.
Or the States, as you call it, as we've heard it called. 5:53.
Well, thanks for sticking with us. And hey, we're here for the long haul. So, definitely by the end of the stream, it's going to be late for you, buddy. This could be going on 4 or 5 hours. Zach, I don't know, maybe 6. We'll see. So here's the thing. So there are a few little differences in the rules. So last year you could skip a pick. This year you can't.
Yeah.
You can run out of time, but you still need to make a pick. So again, you risk having the team in front of you, the team next to you, taking your pick if you're not timely here.
Correct.
We have 5 minutes in between rounds?
The first 3 rounds, you will have 5 minutes to make a pick. You can overrun that 5 minutes, but keep in mind that basically means that the next team below you starts looking for their talent as well. So if you go past the 5-minute mark, you start risking your rights being lost potentially for someone you're looking at. So it's in your best interest to pick within that 5-minute time frame. I saw someone ask about the rights. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I'm basing it off of anything I know about draft rights in terms of other leagues, I'll even use the old USFL, for example. And in the facts that, NFL teams also drafted a few of those Hall of Famers back in the day, and they drafted their rights. Unless I am crazy, those rights stay with the teams as long as they are wanting to play. So, you can essentially keep them and, trade them around, at least if that's what the leagues end up doing with this. Of course, now credit in this draft, you can't trade rights for a actual player. Keep that in mind. You can potentially do the rights for rights. You cannot do rights for players. So a Darius Victor cannot get traded for a person's rights. That's not how this works. You have to, and also I don't know why you would trade Darius Victor. I just
right.
Because thinking of players. But if my knowledge of any draft rights I've ever seen, they're going to stay as long as the player wants to play football. You're going to be able to pick them up if you so choose. Let's see. We got a few more minutes. Let's go over a few more of the finite details. So again, this is a draft pool of 3,000 players. That's right. A big 3,000 is going to be of the pool. We do not know the pool, by the way. I'm going to just put that out there. We are going to be reacting basically straight live. 80 players of that 3,000 will have rights given to them as well. To follow up on the time frames for the rounds, so the first 3 or 5 minutes each for the rounds. Between rounds, you have 5-minute breaks. So at the end of rounds, we'll kind of get a little bit of breathing room to kind of get some analysis. Rounds 4 through 10 are going to have 3 minutes apiece for the round. So they start picking up a little bit more. Your first 3 rounds are probably going to have the biggest value. So that's what they're trying to go after. Looking across the board as well, again, teams are not allowed to trade draft positions nor trade playing rights for drafted players for a player under contract. So keep that in mind. You're basically stuck and locked in, as the ref said earlier. You cannot pass on picks. And then the other little nugget, we'll bring this up just real quick because we'll bring up the round 1 rundown. So the first round actually only has 7 picks, and we'll explain. That order goes Panthers, Maulers, Gamblers, Showboats, Breakers, Stars, Stallions. Now, if you're a Generals fan, you're going, wait a minute, where the hell is my Generals pick? Now, that was explained a little bit by the PR that we were given by the USFL. So the Generals' first 5 selections are penalized to lower positions due to a violation of off-season roster management rules. So essentially they did not get their round 1 overall first pick, which would have been sitting at number 6 if you were following the traditional order. So theirs are all jacked up. So rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, they pick at 8 position. Then they switch back rounds 6 through 9 to their normal position at number 6. And then they go back to the 9th overall at the very end. So this thing's kind of all convoluted. Sure. They have 2 picks in the very final round in round 10.
It all evens out.
If you're a Generals fan, a little bit of a mix, but still you should be able to track. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer. You'll be pick number 15 today.
And that's what we're here for.
Overall.
And, from my understanding, this wasn't like a malicious thing that happened. It was more of an oversight. But, the one thing that I'll call out here is it's actually nice to see the USFL is enforcing the rules. Right? They could have said, oh, you know what? We're young. We're early. Yes, an oversight. We'll let it pass this time, but give them, the little wag of finger. But you know what? I think the consistency is good. They're following the rules. And you know what? I bet you next year the mistake doesn't happen for any team, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think some of it, I'll be honest with you, some of us were trying to still fill out and figure out the roster spaces. And I think that's just, from what we gathered, that is kind of what was the flub there between of course Mike Riley and Generals GM Billy Devaney. They did a lot of signings early. Certain things with signing free agents were violated on technicality's sake, and this is where you're at. But I mean, look, if you're a Generals fan anyway, you got a great roster to start. Most of your starters are back, and even with Luis Perez heading to the XFL, as long as DeAndre Johnson's healthy, you got an excellent guy at number 1, and Kyle Letta is at least a solid backup floor if you have that case. Now, credit, I've heard it's an open competition, but still, DeAndre Johnson's a pretty damn good quarterback for you to have.
He was formidable last year when he was playing, that's for sure. I'd be happy to have him over on the Gamblers.
Plus, you still got Trey Williams and Darius Victor. I'm just
they're
saying.
Good. And,
you're good.
Here's the thing. If this, no, not yet. But if this was last year's draft, probably a bigger deal. I'll be honest, right? Probably bigger
Most
deal.
likely.
This year, like we said, there's probably going to be a lot of these guys that don't end up playing this year. It's going to be in the future years. So it ain't great, but it ain't the worst here. We're 1 minute away, though. 1 minute away, probably seconds away from when the Panthers are. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, my clock just flipped to 1. So the Panthers are officially on the clock. It is now 1 p.m. Eastern time. So here we go. My guys, Mike Nolan, Steve Kaiser, it is their time. We got to see how aggressive they are with these rights. This is, like I said, this is what's going to be fascinating is I think this first round, you're really going to kind of see what these teams are looking for. You know, do they want guys that are straight up people that you can see later, or are you hedging, like you said, hedging your bets? Right. You know, are you holding on to maybe that valuable purse for future years ahead? You know, it's a little different, like I said, a little different than the NFL draft, just because the NFL draft, you're almost guaranteed your guy's going to sign. Maybe you have some complications, you know, with some of the higher tier guys on like 1 or 2 stipulations, but your guys are going to sign. This one, it's all over the place, but if one of your dudes comes to you, it's going to be pretty sweet when you see it come across later on. So, so league's going to be dropping on social, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram for them at USFL or the USFL, depending on which one you're at.
Well, and that's a good point.
Yeah, Panther.
Do us a favor. Go make sure you're checking out all the USFL socials. If you're not following them, I mean, shame on you. I mean, those guys put in some hard work over there, and we got nothing but love for the league, the social teams, all that. We're just trying to give some supplementary content to go along with it. But make sure you're liking and sharing those posts as well. We need the world to see that the USFL College Draft is going on today. So, hey, I mean, it has to be said. Am I right, Zach? It has to be said.
Right. It has to be said.
So we got...
Absolutely. It has to be said. So like I said, just kind of just waiting on the league to kind of start dropping. I'm assuming either they are going to say that the Panthers are on the clock, or they're just assuming that the Panthers are on the clock and they are going to drop a graphic within the first 5 minutes. Again, 5-minute time frame for each one of these. So once 105 rolls around, you hope that picks out. Otherwise, they are still looking for a said pick, and then you're going to be seeing the Maulers go on the clock.
Sure.
Supposedly at 105. That is what.
And something to keep in mind, everybody here too. There might be a slight delay of when these picks come out on social, because, I mean, I just remember last year they were doing full on graphics. I don't know if they're doing full on graphics this year, but that's going to be a lot to like keep up with the rapid fire. Where I could see, them giving themselves a 5-minute gap in between to where they can start getting these things ready, scheduled, and proofreading's the big one. I mean, I know me, I can barely spell or talk. And I make mistakes all the time. And I know those teams are much more diligent than I am. So, I wouldn't expect a little bit of delay, but I don't think we're going to be waiting a whole long. Maybe near the end of it, we could start seeing them drop it by round. But again, 10 rounds, 8 picks around, 80 picks total. I'm here. I'm looking forward to it. Again, Zach, I'm just super excited to see what the strat is here. Big and bold at the beginning. Do we go for guys that are more likely to sign? Chat, I mean, how are you feeling here? I think I put it in the chat before, but I'm curious, and this will probably just tell us who's watching, but who's going to win the draft today? I mean, theoretical or not, who's going to make the best picks maybe for the future of their team? I want to know.
That's a good choice. I also would love to hear your guys' thoughts on who you want to see drafted, if you've had some thoughts too.
Yes.
Or what you think your team's needs are. Again, like I said, I know this draft's not, you're not guaranteed to have someone that's going to sign on right away, and it shouldn't affect the rosters. But still, if you're thinking ahead, maybe you aren't, I don't know, maybe you're not confident about your roster this year yet. Who do you think futures-wise, your roster, who do you think who they need, or what position do you think they need? I think that's a good question. I think for the Panthers, this is something that they addressed a little bit in the offseason, but I thought they badly needed edge rush help, very much so. They pass rush was, I would say, average at best, and that's barely scraping the top average. I feel like that was something that they could have assisted on. Secondary help is also something that they can definitely have done.
Hey, I just noticed something here, guys. So we have 409 people watching the video.
Oh my gosh!
Up there.
Wow.
Here's the problem I have. 66 likes. Let's get those numbers up, baby. Let's get those numbers up. And here's the deal. If you subscribe, I don't think we mentioned this, you're automatically entered into our 5K giveaway. We're at like 2,800 now, something like that, or at least close to 2,800 followers.
We've been climbing like last few days.
We're getting close.
It's nuts.
So if you want to win an authentic USFL jersey, customize your player, your name, you name it, make sure you subscribe, click the bell. It builds morale, and it also lets you know when we go live. But the likes, I'm telling you, that's what helps other people see this. And we need to let the world know that USFL is going down. The draft is happening today, and we got all the picks. Let's see. I got a notification. Oh, we might have our first pick in. Panthers are on the clock. That's what we got.
They are on.
Panthers are on the clock, folks. So
that's a little delayed.
So I think so. So I think I was right in my assessment. We're probably going to get like a 5-minute delay between when the picks happen and when they come on social. Now, again, 5 minutes, is it going to be exactly to the second? Maybe not. Maybe some earlier, maybe some later. But I think that's smart. Again, I work in marketing. I work on the web. I work in social media. And honestly, if this was me and my team doing it, that would be my approach, just so you have a chance to get a second pair of eyes on it before you're just hitting send as things happen, right?
Right. While we're waiting, oh my God, thank you, Mike Palco. You gave me a reason to talk arena football.
Oh, there we go.
This man saying Tommy Grady from Arena Football, I think he was suggesting should be a pickup.
I think we got, look, oh no, it's just a retweet. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
That's okay. Hey, look, you interrupt me if that pick comes in. I am gladly going to shut my mouth. All I'm telling you is that if you give me a reason to talk Arena Football on here, I'm going to take my chances. I see my co-host Jim Renee's on here. He put Sam Castronova, which, by the way, Sam Castronova, excellent quarterback for the Albany Empire. If you haven't checked out the National Arena League or Arena Football, by the way, go and do that. Very underrated section of the sport. A lot of good talents out there too. And some of them that have gone to other leagues, by the way, like Justin Alexander, you might have heard of that name. I know we're the USFL show, but he was actually he was signed on to the Brahmas over in the XFL. Mm-hmm. So I know he was put on the reserve list, but still, dude's pretty good. There's some good guys over there in the Arena League, so you don't want to sleep on those leagues. Oh, DJ Myers, if you're a Showboats fan, Iron Man of the Year last year for the National Arena League. That dude is a stud. You are going to love seeing him play over in Memphis. I am promising you that. Look, trying to get an interview with him too, by the way, before the season starts. Still linking up on that. So keep tabs.
So speaking of which, hey, since we're talking about Arena Football, Zach, promote the podcast, but also make sure you're following us at Arena Newsroom because, hey, we got all the newsrooms. I'm the Lime guy, but you got to, we do this podcast. You have Inside the Walls at what? In
Walls Pod.
I will always get that wrong. I'm sorry. In Walls Pod.
On your favorite social platform. Yes, if you want Arena Football action, if you're curious about Arena Football, go and check that out. My co-host, and really I think to me the main showrunner of the show, dude does so much for that channel. I cannot appreciate enough. He's in the chat right now. Honestly, best arena coverage out there for the sport, and that sport is very underappreciated. So seriously, go and check it out. And hey, most of the games, they're free on YouTube.
And you know what I say, Zach? If it's free, it's me. While we're waiting for picks here, I got a couple things to talk about. So as you know, I went to the Roughnecks game over the weekend.
Oh boy.
And I conducted a survey. I should have actually recorded this for the show.
Well, now, wait a minute. You did some guerrilla marketing.
I was out there. And I got a couple pictures. There was a couple people that, hey, the ref's here. What are you doing? Wrong league. I said, hey, spring football. I'm going if it's here. Sign me up. And they were fully on board. But I did a little bit of recon. I was curious, right? Because, I'm part of one of the largest, if not the largest, tailgates for the Roughnecks, which is also by proxy the largest tailgate for the Texans. They're in the Tailgate Hall of Fame, baby. Sign us up. We got an old fire truck. We got a whole thing.
I've seen them actually. I think we saw their section of the Pro Football Hall of Fame last year when we were up there.
So
because that is a decent section in the Hall of Fame area, which last year we had fans come with us to the Hall of Fame before the setup. That was amazing.
Summer stock, baby. Day one. I can't wait for summer stock. I can't wait for spring stock.
I see a few folks still ask about the time. The Panthers are on the clock. We're really just waiting on social news to break for it. So that is the main thing we're waiting to react on. Basically a way on the social teams to set up and post. We might have nope, never mind. That's another notification. But technically the Panthers are on the clock at this time. We were just waiting to see, you know, who Mike Nolan and Steve Kazor pick up.
Yeah, hang tight. It will be coming. I bet you we'll get it probably in the next minute now, because now we're 10 minutes out. So if we have a 5-minute delay and then a 5-minute delay on top of that for the announcement of the on the clock, I have a feeling we're going to get it soon. But the one thing that I found was promising. So I asked, I would say easily 100 people over at the Roughnecks game. When the USFL comes to market, when the gamblers are here, you know, there's very little overlap. There's only a couple weeks at the end. Would you continue on watching football? Would you go down to, go see the gamblers play, wherever that might be? I mean, I'm not going to speculate. I have ideas where they might land.
There's a few options that we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the time or place for that right now, but I would say
sure.
A good amount, at least. And I should have actually took a tally here, but easily 80-90% of the people said 100%. I'm going to watch more football. And I think it's good to remember Texans love football. We have
true. We got our pick.
All right. I'll hold my spiel for later. Let's see who we got here.
We have our pick here.
Jarrett.
It is yeah. Oh, you were about to say it. Number one overall pick for the Michigan Panthers in the 2023 USFL Collegiate Draft is offensive tackle from Michigan State, Jarrett Horst.
Going local, too, which I kind of like here. So we're seeing a Michigan State guy.
Now, Tony Paul had mentioned on the Detroit News just a few hours ago that they were going to possibly see how much they can get locally set up with talent. So Horst is coming out here. We'll get you some info here, but yes, that pick is official right now.
So next
Jarrett
on the
Horst.
board, we have Maulers here. So we'll see now. Are we going to be fast and furious going forward? I'm curious to see how fast things move now, but interesting pick. So offensive tackle with the first pick. I think a lot of people may have been expecting a quarterback. Me, maybe not so much. Again, we got something to keep in mind here. Different approach, different strategy for this type of draft, because now you're targeting guys that are on the cusp, on the edge of maybe making it or not making it, but getting picked in this upcoming NFL draft here, where, I'd say a quarterback is probably going to be higher on the list in an NFL draft, but I think this is a good pick because realistically, I think it's a piece that, will probably help this team going forward. Now, one thing that we don't know, but I would assume maybe we'll get some type of supplementary draft where we open things up for the hub football guys. Maybe that's strictly reserved for the free agency. That's kind of what it seemed to be leading towards before. I think we have a Maulers pick in here too.
Oh, we
might. We do.
I'll give you some details on Horst here in a second. Yeah. Oh, we got a QB on the board.
That's right. So we have Lindsey Scott Jr., excuse me, second pick in the round. So here I go making a whole spiel about QBs in the first round, different strat, this and that. But the Hortons, they're playing games with me. We got a QB for the second pick for the Maulers here, coming from Incarnate Word, Lindsey Scott Jr. And now this is one thing. Go on.
I was going to say, I'll give you a little bit of spiel. We'll give you Worst's background here. I do see some folks are saying he's one of the top prospects out of MSU. So yeah, that has been the case. That Worst is a 5-year senior, honorable mentions for all Big Ten, Outland Trophy, watch list type of guy. So dude is very much, I would say very much has the talent. I think has been coming up, is definitely someone that has exhausted their their college eligibility. And again, I would not be shocked if maybe he takes his looks to the NFL, but someone, at least now you have rights to someone that's a young talent out of Michigan State. As for Lindsey Scott, you got all Southland honorable mention for his time in a Carn Award, 2021 CFPA FCS National Performer of the Year Trophy midseason watch list guy, 3-time Stats Perform FCS National Offensive Player of the Week honorable mentions as well, and many other accolades as well for his time there. And, it's funny, the Maulers, they keep stacking some talent in the QB position. I know, again, we're talking player rights here, but that's like the biggest conversation this offseason for them has been, quarterback as such a need because they could not lock that down last year as much as they tried. Now you got, of course, the Horton clan running the show over there for the Pittsburgh Maulers. And I think, they've noticed as well, along with John Tomlinson, they want to make sure that spot is locked down tight for years to come if they can.
Now, here's my hope, Zach. So now the Gamblers are on the clock, right?
They are.
This is it.
It's your team's time to shine.
Stetson Bennett. Make it happen. All right, the pick is in.
Oh, man.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm wishing. I'm crossing my fingers. Chase Bridge, Appalachian State, though, a QB, and I will take that all day. Chase Bryce.
Hey.
Chase Bryce. I think I may have butchered his name there. But if you guys are frequent watchers of the show, you would know that that's just par for the course here. Appalachian State, Chase Bryce. I need to know more.
Yes. Bryce actually, I was going to say, he came over from Duke. Yeah, so he's actually had quite a journey. So Clemson from 2017 to 2019, had a stop at Duke in 2020, and it continued his eligibility with Appalachian State in 2021 and 2022.
Chat seems to think this is a good pick. Here's the thing. In my heart, I know it's a good pick because we're going 12-0, baby, all in. Man, Zach, April 30th can't come fast enough. If there's ever a day that we're throwing fists, that's it. Grudge game, baby. I'm so ready. Let's get hyped. All right. So now the Gamblers, like I said, we've already established that probably the biggest busts in the draft are coming on your front with the Panthers. But whereas the Gamblers, all the best picks, the best picks coming down the line.
Way to sneak that in there. You clearly you believe my ears are busted. You sneaky devil.
We got a fourth pick though, man. See, hot and heavy now.
Now, yeah, moving on down the line.
Another offensive tackle, Mason Brooks for the Memphis Showboats out of Mississippi. So now we have two QBs, two offensive tackles. Kind of an interesting play here. I don't know if anybody would have anticipated that. But maybe not directly local, but close, I'd say. We're starting to see some of these guys. Maybe not all of them. We're only 4 picks in, but technically over halfway through the first round now because of where the Gamblers sit. Like I said, start out a little bit slow, but I think it's just because we have a little bit of a delay. Keep these guys ready so they're not falling behind, but I think we're going to be moving fast and furious, at least until we get to the end of the round here. My God, they are coming in. I think I just saw the Breakers have a pick.
I think we're at, once again, another one. We
are.
Receiver Tyler Scott, Cincinnati, being picked
There
up
we go. Graphic
by the
on the
New
screen.
Orleans Breakers.
And, here's the thing. If you can't stick around for the full stream, we get it. We also have a link over at USFLnewsroom.com, which, of course, you should be checking out daily for all the latest news. We have a draft tracker over there, which has this beautiful stream that you're watching now, as well as all the picks as they come in live.
Tyler Scott, that is why this one stuck with me. I'd been hearing, I knew this was it. Dude has a 4.29 40. You know how ridiculous that is to have a 4.29 40? He has been talked about quite a bit. That was one thing he'd been coming up as a lot of under the radar type of prospect for the NFL. So look, this is a guy, I think, like if you're the Breakers, if you're, for example, John DeFilippo, Ryan Jones looking at this pick, if you have any chance, say he doesn't get looked at, that's a speedster. I see this as a guy, and again, every player is a different journey, but that's a guy I think you prep yourself for year 3 right there. If you have the shot, if he doesn't make it big, which honestly, that speed, that's someone I think that in the NFL, he's going to get picked up. I mean, look, 4.29 speed, is insane in any regard. That's one of the fastest players anywhere in football.
I'll tell you, I'm not running anything near close to that. I mean, maybe the reverse, maybe a 9.24. But we do have a stars pick in here. Let's pull it up on the screen here. We have Alfred Edwards from Utah State, another offensive tackle. Going offensive tackle heavy in the first round, but you know what? I kind of love to see it. It's one of these things that I think, there's a lot of eyes on wide receivers, running backs, and clearly quarterbacks. Zach, you were a tackle, right? Or a center?
I was actually a center.
My apologies.
I also played defensive tackle, and I was the long snapper. This is on high school. So one thing I like with these tackle picks, to me, spring football. What is one thing I think that most people, a good spring football team needs more than even an NFL team in some regards? I mean, it's important at every level, but I think it's even more important at spring level is good linemen, young, talented linemen. So some of these picks I think are target that. For the sake of these stars, that was actually one of their weaknesses last year was at times pass pro. Case Cookers did a great job with improvisation. I understand it's right.
Yep.
But again, if you are building up, hope is that you can maybe have this. This is a first team All Mountain West talent. Honorable mention All Mountain West in 2021. First team in last year for the Mountain West, though. I imagine this is a gentleman that will most likely get a look in the NFL if he is given the chance. But again, you like the accolades if that is the case. So, the strategies are very much at play. Like I said, like the Tyler Scott pick, like people in chat. I see you in chat. Yeah, I agree. He's going to probably get drafted in the NFL. I think that there is a shot there because the speed alone is stupid.
So
it's stupid.
The final pick of the first round is in. Birmingham Stallions championship team. Again, another offensive tackle from UAB, Kadeem Telfort. So again,
you see the theme.
It's wide receivers, offensive tackles. Now I do like this a little bit because last year it was phases, right? First round was all, QBs, I believe, right? And then it moved into, offensive and defensive and, things like that. Now it's just free reign, which I think is a little bit more fun. So now we'll see how the approach changes going into these subsequent rounds here.
I like how Zach Potter and Skip Holtz are leaning even further into we pick up UAB guys type of mantra.
Might as well.
They've been picking up a lot of UAB talent, a lot of local guys, which again, I mean, Michigan had been hinting at that locally to some Detroit affiliates, but UAB product, Kadeem Telfort, which I could see the chat. I said several in the chat look like they're pretty excited about that pickup here. I mean, hey, look, if you're a local guy and you're following on the UAB Blazers, then yes, UAB Blazers. I'm not an idiot. I was combining the two B's.
It happens.
Give you some accolades here. Did a redshirt senior season last year. First team All Conference USA. So again, another dude that is definitely getting in. I would think right as the iron is hot for his draft stock. But also he actually was able to play an extra year because he used his COVID waiver back in 2021. So, but no, perfect timing for him to get out again. Someone though, like I said, I think look, there's tons of talent that NFL level is going to be looking for. That being said, you are going to be having some of these guys that, again, maybe they aren't able to get this and they aren't picked up. That's another person that, I think first round of the USFL draft is someone that you should expect to possibly get picked up in the NFL draft, but you do want to have those rights. Again, I think rights are still important. Like if you get a chance to have a talented player come your way, possibly, that's something you don't want to slouch at, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Keep that in mind. Even if they get picked up in the NFL, that still is nice to have in your back pocket just in case.
Oh, for sure. I mean, options, baby. As a player, this is probably pretty flippin' amazing news because up until leagues like the USFL and the XFL, options were slim. If you couldn't get in, if you couldn't make a name for yourself in the first go around in the NFL, I mean, and this is crazy to say, it's easier to get in the NFL the first time than it is the second time. Right? You know what I mean? So before your options were CFL. There's maybe, now we have the ELF, but that wasn't even always around. We have, some the X League in Japan, maybe not as big as people might want to play in, but an option. But now you have options here in the States. You don't have to leave your family. You don't have to deal with taxes or anything in between. But let's just run down here. So with the first draft's done,
yes,
let's just run through the picks here. So Michigan Panthers, first overall pick, Jaron Horst, offensive tackle from Michigan State, staying local. The Maulers coming in big with Lindsey Scott Jr., QB out of Incarnate Word. Number 3, Gamblers, all in 12-0, baby. Appalachian State, Chase. I can't talk. I don't know. Chase Bryce, QB, baby. Number 4, Mason Brooks, offensive tackle, Mississippi. The outliers in the bunch here, the Breakers going for a wide receiver, Tyler Scott from Cincinnati. Moving over to the Stars, offensive tackle, Alfred Edwards III from Utah State. Utah's a beautiful place, by the way. If you haven't been, great hiking. And then wrapping it up, Kadeem Telfort, offensive tackle for UAB. Like you said, Zach, those guys sticking with the plan.
I think my favorite pick, I think my favorite pick, I'm not going to lie, this isn't me clowning on you. I actually like the Chase Bryce pick for the Gamblers.
As you should.
Not going to lie. No, someone, like I said, someone that I think, like I said, came from a bigger school, went to Appalachian State for an opportunity, slung the rock pretty well last year. I know record-wise, Appalachian State, not as much as uppity up as they have been in recent years, but dude, I thought at least he used his opportunity for the transfer out of Clemson to go to that school, and I think utilize his talents as best as he could. And that's someone I think is a sneaky pick. Like, I think that if you're talking future building, at least for the Gamblers, or maybe someone that doesn't get picked up, say the Gamblers do a power play and happen to ask him, hey, you sure you don't want to join, maybe like mid-ish season, like that week 4 or 5, like week 3 through 5 area type of thing after the draft. That's where I think you could see that happening. Otherwise, though, that's a gentleman I could see possibly using the USFL to help boost his stock, and someone that I think had, like I said, had a lot of praise and had a lot of press around him early last year in the college football, circuit last season. So that's who I like. Otherwise, I say Lindsey Scott, great choice, I think, for the small school scene. My question is that, now I think for his sake, you're more wondering, do the Maulers do well next year, and who's there next year? Because again, they're doing quite a QB battle.
Sure.
So like that, I know for some Maulers fans, they're seeing that pick and going, wait a minute, we got 3 quarterbacks we're competing with the roster right now. I mean, one of those guys could stay next year. So, that's the only thing if he comes in. So that's my issue. I like Bryce though. I like Chase Bryce as a choice for the Gamblers.
So a couple things here. So the Panthers are now officially back on the clock. So the break between rounds is taking place. They're officially back on the clock, round 2. Now, this is a question for you, Zach, but I'm curious what the chat thinks. So let me know down in the chat. What are your thoughts on this draft approach? Because we're not seeing a snake draft. The Panthers are getting the first pick in every round of the draft. Now, last year, I think that would make more sense because you would have had, the different positions. Now it's a free-for-all draft. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Good, bad? Do you like this approach here?
Hey, look, for me, I'm fine with it because I think this is what we're used to anyhow. I didn't mind it last year. And I guess I wouldn't mind it this year either if they had a snake draft. But to me, part of the reason why I like it, it's part selfish, but part makes sense too. Look, the Panthers won that game against the Maulers to get a significant draft stock. The best way to reward that is to have all the rounds where they get the first pick. So if it was a snake, I think I actually would be disappointed if it was a snake because of the fact I'd be going, you mean to tell me every 3rd round I have to wait to get back to the top?
Right.
Yeah, sure, I double up, but, I still have to wait through all that slog. So, yeah, regular draft's fine, and I think that's the standard. People expect that. That's what. Not saying you're supposed to copy the NFL in terms of standard, but like you're a professional league. The NFL does it this way. And last year you got through your basically I think of it almost like an expansion draft setup, where it's kind of like last year. Because again, those guys were basically going to be signing on.
Right.
This year, it's completely in the wind in terms of draft rights.
Well,
depending on how you look
yeah,
at
and I mean, well, and to your point, the rosters are completely different. I mean, last year, coaches, they had 0 players going to the draft. Going into it now, a lot of the coaches have a good chunk of their rosters. Now it's a matter of like fleshing that out, and even some cut downs probably still yet to come, depending on the teams here, because training camps are taking place next month, right? So we're less than a month away, I believe.
Oh, hey. I knew it. I'm looking at this right. Get away from me, foul bot. Be gone.
They know us every time. Hide user on this channel.
Yeah. I was going to say, quick remove message, and now there we go. Be gone, bot.
And it's always the same one. So I guess, I don't know, maybe not. It's always the same type of content. Let me put it that way.
It's always the same type of content.
Why are we spamming us with that? That's all I want to know. Well, either way.
Hey, look. If you for those Pierce Sports Productions, what bot? Hey, good. That means we did our job right. You don't.
That's right.
You don't know what's going on.
I don't have any information about that.
And that's my Google Home acting up. I have bots going on everywhere.
Bots like, why did you get rid of my friend? I don't have any information about that, Zach. Why did you get rid of my friend, Zach?
I don't have all the answers, man. I ain't some god brain or anything.
Oh my God, we're having too much fun. One round down, 9 to go. Twitter's broken, so that's cool. We're back up on Twitter, so that's okay.
I was like, great, Twitter's broken.
Well,
I guess we jumped to Facebook if we had to do so.
Hopefully, Facebook's is good. But no, we seem to be rocking and rolling here. Let's see, when did they put that on the clock tweet out? Because I would guess we'll probably get it about 5 minutes. So 4 minutes ago, on the clock tweet went out. So probably in the next minute, 2 minutes, we'll probably see the Panthers' next pick. Pick 8, weirdly enough. But again, we discussed the reasons why earlier here. But now the Generals come in. They get their first pick in the draft, and what would that be? The 15th pick overall is where they'll be coming in, the 8th pick in the second round. So let's see where we're at here. They're actually coming in at the 16th pick. I take it back.
Someone's saying, I think we got it in, because I'm seeing, if that's who the pick is, that is... Oh boy.
Let's see what we got
Michigan.
here.
Let's see if the case. It is Tanner Morgan. Whoa, okay. Yeah, Panthers picked up Tanner Morgan with their second overall pick. So yeah, Tanner Morgan, that's fascinating, because Morgan is another dude that, to me, I think gets picked up later rounds in the NFL draft. So that's a little bit more of a hedging your bets type of pickup. I mean, in the Big Ten, QB competition's competitive Big Ten, but Morgan, in terms of Big Ten production, dude was one of the better ones has been one of the better ones in recent years. It's helped Minnesota become a little more of a relevant program in recent seasons. So not too shabby. I could see him. To me, he's a guy I have getting picked up either later in the rounds, or maybe he does go take an undrafted free agency nod. But that is one that, say he becomes available, that is a fascinating choice. Oh, and we already got the Maulers.
Oh yeah, fast and furious. Malik Ham, defensive end, first defensive end in the draft here, going to the Maulers. So, going offense in the first round, defense in the second round. I mean, the Panthers, again, we talked about hedging the bets for the future. Maybe Tanner doesn't make I think he's probably like you said, probably going to get picked up in the later rounds in the NFL, but maybe even 2 years in, he's not getting the playing time he wants, and wants to go to something like the USFL for a season to say, look, guys, this is what you're missing out on. Because I think we're going to get to that point here in the future once the league has only been around 1 year, and there's a little bit of an appetite for these guys to start coming.
Here's a fascinating one with Ham. So Ham is a guy that I definitely think is one of those that I see as much more likely to be in this league if he doesn't get a nod. But he has tons of nods for the Patriot League. Very well credited defensive lineman there for Lafayette. lots of accolades in recent years. So, yeah, that's one I think that, to me, if you're doing a pick, you're talking about, he's a guy I could see, depending on the stock, I think realistically he could be in the league in the next year or so, possibly.
100%.
But yeah, dude has a lot of accolades for the Patriot League. And as you see Jimmy Delaney here even commenting, wait, which one? Oh, no, sorry. David Drungenmiller. No offense, Jimmy. I saw yours before David's, but David saying, Lee Cam, good edge from my local college, which is Lafayette Community College. So, solid one there. And looks like I got another pick. Houston on the board. I believe it is who I am reading from Nicole.
It looks like we got Justin Ford, defensive back from Montana. Again, only the best picks. And watch. I want everybody to watch this. What I'm doing here, folks, I'm sharing the tweet from the USFL team. This is what you guys should be doing. Like that, share it. Let people know that the USFL College Draft is taking place today. And if you got a little place in your heart for us, you know what? Sign you up. Go ahead and share the link to this live stream and let people know that we got them covered with some live coverage. And here, I know I've asked, and I'm going to ask again, and I'm going to be nice, but please sign us up. Give us a little, I don't know which YouTuber, if they all say it or if some of them say it, but I'm going to steal it. Give us a little bit of a like spike. Right? Is that a thing that YouTubers say?
Right.
Sign us up.
Like spike
on that bad boy.
Justin Ford. Wow. So this is a big name in terms of, I think, accolades. Look, unanimous first team All-American cornerback. We're talking comparatively across the college football spectrum. Montana has quite a pedigree in its own right for its section of college football. Just from talking to people, especially the Big Sky. So Big Sky has a few competitors out there. But yeah, unanimous first team All-American in 2021. Definitely. I mean, shoot, man, that's someone you got to be watching out for.
So I see the Breakers pick in here. There's the Showboat. So we got two real quick back-to-back ones here. So let's just flip through those and then
yeah, they're going faster than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, sign them up too, because I was actually. Well, real quick, we'll talk about that and then we'll go. So we got Isaiah Bolden, cornerback, Jackson State for the Memphis Showboats. And then we're going to move over here to the New Orleans Breakers. And let's see what we got. Noah Taylor for Virginia, linebacker, first linebacker in the draft, going over to the Breakers. So now that we're getting a little bit in here, starting to see things a little bit different approach from round to round now, other than like we said, the Generals, but they're coming up. We're only, 3 picks away from the Generals getting their first pick. But, I mean, here's the thing with the Memphis Showboats. They got a hell of a stud in their quarterback and Ryan Willis. Now, I think it makes sense. Let's focus on the defense. Cornerback is an important position that you don't want to be leaving out. I mean, as a Lions fans, we've always had, well, not always, but we've seemed to always do well from the cornerback side of things. So I could tell you how important it is to change the momentum of a game. And I would say, honestly, cornerbacks do what they do. They get interceptions, things like that. But that's really what it does, is that's the stuff that's going to change the pace of your game. And, that's what you want to be getting in these drafts. Now, again, just the disclaimer, some of these guys, a lot of these guys, quite honestly, we probably won't see them in the USFL this year. But 2-3 years from now, 4 years around, I think we'll probably see a couple come in. I mean, that's the beauty of a spring league opportunities, continued opportunities. Speaking of which, they are coming fast and furious here. You seeing the Stars pick, Zach? You want to announce that one?
Yes, I will here. I'm just making sure I get my page refreshed so I can get that up. Yes, the tackles continue. Jesus. And I'm going to take the chat suggestion because I saw a few people talking about App State. So I'm just going to call it App State. But Anderson Hardy from App State going the 13th overall pick, second pick for the Philadelphia Stars. Again, so that's the second App State player off the board so far in this
I'm going to press my luck, though. It is Appalachian State, right? Tell me if I'm right or wrong, because now I'm just...
Appalachian is what I pronounce it
I'm
as.
curious. I don't know. Maybe, well, this is different regions of the
And
world.
they can rip into us here. I went with App to be safe. That's why. Yeah. There. Mike Palco, Appalachian.
So it was
that's how he
my
has it
fault
written.
that everyone say we should stop saying it.
Mike Poe says Appy State. I mean, you could, it's all over the place.
Oh boy, we're having too much fun. So now we got the Stallions on the clock. But like I said, we're coming fast and furious. So I would not doubt if we see the pick soon here. Now, you know what I do like? Let me just switch over to the web piece of it here. We're seeing not just the picks come through on social media, but, you know, the Panthers here, they put out a nice little highlight for Tanner Morgan. Oh,
yeah, that just dropped.
Over on social media. So again, see this, folks. I liked it. I retweeted it. Let's show the USFL socials that we're paying attention and we're giving them some love. They got a small lean and mean machine going on over there, and they're doing a hell of a job. But we might have another pick in. I see some more notifications. Let's see. Oh, I see one for the Generals and one for the Stallions here.
Say Stallions should be first, and then Generals finally get there first. So you had tackles. That's 2 tackles now for the Stallions. Quentin Barrow from Grand Valley State. That is my uncle's. That's where my uncle is actually very much involved with Grand Valley State.
Very cool.
He's big into the school. So Quentin Barrow coming from Grand Valley, and now you're hearing that the Generals finally got their pick, which again, they were penalized for signing violations earlier on in the season. This is why they are picking 15th overall. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Martinez.
Wow. Going big with the first pick again. You know, they had to wait longer than everyone, but they're going balls out, if you will.
Yeah, Martinez is definitely one. Again, Kansas State last year. You know, they were an upset, higher ranked team. You know, I know things didn't end so well. You know, for their bowl series, of course, but nonetheless, though, Adrian Martinez has had some good years with Kansas State. I am curious. I would wonder. He might be one of those guys I could see, and I say solid draft choice in terms of that's a dude you could be future proof for if you're keeping tabs on him. You know, so bigger name guy, I think, if you're in the college football space.
For sure.
You're definitely paying attention.
You know,
so Generals fans, it was worth the wait, it looks like, for the 15th overall. I would say that was a good worth the wait.
100%. You know, again, so just looking, the Panthers social media team, they're having a little bit of fun here. We have some more, another video of Tanner Morgan here. They got him doing the Dak dance.
Man.
But I agree. Bring that Dak dance to the USFL, baby.
See, they're saying bringing Dak dance to the USFL this season. So, interesting.
You know, maybe
again,
this is a hint with all these little highlights that we're getting that maybe there's more to this story. Maybe some of the other picks. I guarantee, I guarantee that we'll get one pick at least that's coming in, bigger name. Maybe this is it. We'll see.
Give them plenty of love, at least. That's for sure. Give them lots of love.
Fast and Furious. So we're now 2 rounds into this bad boy.
Yeah,
Sign us up.
Like I was full disclosure, as we say, we're no curtains here. So I work nights on my normal day. I am running on like maybe 4 hours sleep from yesterday. I got up at like 5. I've been up since 5 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I was fully prepared for us to be like, oh yeah, I was expecting this to be going a lot slower. But hey, guys know what they want, I guess, so far. But no. Hey, look, I had to do this.
We're here.
I'm just giving you full disclosure. I'm running on draft energy right now. This is all energy to keep an eye on these picks. Speaking of picks, I actually want to revisit Isaiah Bolden, because I saw a lot of people talking about Bolden. And this is someone, I think, if you're wanting him for skill set, dude was leading the FBS and FCS in 2021 in kickoff return averages, 36.9 yards per pop for returns, as well as averaging 10.1 yards per punt return as well. Also, of course, also had a record 8 solo tackles during his 2021 season for a game there. Played in SWAC championship. I don't know, the return stats to me pop right off the page. That was my thing. I had to bring that one up.
That's what I like to see. So far, and this is what I'm curious. How is everybody feeling about their team's picks? Let us know down in the chat. While we're waiting for the third round to kick off here, again, I'm surprised. Again, we talked about last year when we did that initial draft. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, this won't be too bad. We'll be in and out of here a couple hours. Man, was that a gauntlet? It was like 5 or 6 hours, man. It was hardcore. So I'm feeling pretty good about this now because I only anticipate the picks coming in maybe even a little bit faster as we get into the later rounds. Maybe not right away, but as we get into these later rounds here. But I do want to pause because we haven't really talked about it yet. Spring stock, folks. Hey, if you're planning on going down to Birmingham for April 15th to go see the Stallions take on the Generals in a rematch of last year's opener, well, hey, we got good news for you. We're going to be out there having fun, getting live, having good times, giveaways, and good guests. And, join us over at Casey's Sports Bar, formerly Todd English Pub. So it's in the Westin across the street from Protective Stadium. So it's not even a long walk. It's like you could spit on the stadium from the location. We'll have signs out front as well. We're going to have a whole bunch of sweet guests, but we want to know, who would you like to see join us on at the event? Now, I get it. Not everybody can make it down to Birmingham. Maybe you're over in Memphis. You're going to go see that Memphis game. Maybe you're up in Detroit. It's hard to travel. Well, the good news is you can tune in online over here at USFL Podcast on YouTube, which makes it even more important that you subscribe and click the bell, get the morale, and then know when we're going live with all of these things. But hey, that's just day one, baby. Day two, we're heading a little bit northwest, I suppose, over to Memphis, Tennessee for the grudge game. Houston Gamblers taking on I feel bad for them, the Michigan Panthers, because they're going to lose again in week one.
I was about to say the Houston Gamblers taking their first L of the year.
Mike
Nolan, dressing up suit and tie to the nines, walking with that swagger out of the Liberty Bowl.
I mean, there's a lot on the line for this game, and I love to see it against two new head coaches. But here's the thing. We need you to come and join us. If you're a Gamblers fan, if you're a Panthers fan, or if you're just a fan of the USFL, come out, tailgate with us starting at 9 a.m. Central until the game kicks off at noon. And then after it, Zach and I, we're going to go get some Blues barbecue and watch the late game, and I'm excited for that.
Oh, man. I got to do Blues and barbecue. I have that. It is on my things to do. I've never been to Memphis as a visitor. I've passed through, but we're hitting something up that we made that pact making this plan. So without a doubt. Oh, hey, go to the Generals
I was just
page.
about to pull it up.
Highlights for. I was going to say they're showing up Martinez here.
So,
which as we've known, and we've known this for a while, especially folks that have followed Adrian Martinez. Dude does have wheels, which is kind of strange to think about because something DeAndre Johnson excels at is he has wheels.
Oh yeah.
Dual threat QBs. I see you, Mike Riley. I see what you're doing.
Riley's getting his QB camp ready. I know he lost Perez. So, maybe doing a little bit of strat here. He liked what he saw with DeAndre last year and said, you know what? I want a little bit more of that. I want a little bit more of that in my life. And I do love seeing the highlights. Now, is that an indicator of more to come? I don't know, Zach. I'm not going to speculate on that.
I think it teases or maybe, it entices.
Right.
Is my thing, but nonetheless, I mean, it does make you kind of as a fan go, oh man, we'll love you if you come by. We'd love to have you.
Well, hey, here's the thing, guys. If you're a Generals fan, I'm sure it's not hard to get a hold of them. Send them an edible arrangements. Tell them you'll get many more if you come and show up in the USFL next year. I'm already getting them ready. I got money earmarked. 10 edible arrangements ready for every gambler's pick in the draft. Let's flip and go. 12-0, baby. All in.
Oh my God. Perfect social media thing you could do right there. While I have the time, I would like to thank Paxton Lynch for giving me the first overall pick for the Michigan Panthers. Look, it's the truth though. He played his heart out. The man played his heart out. I have to put it out there.
Well, I mean, since we're thanking Paxton Lynch, I'd also like to thank him for giving the Roughnecks a win this weekend.
See, that's the cruel one. I was trying to avoid that. You took it the extra mile. That's you. I tried to avoid it. You chose.
We're only 2 rounds in here, boys.
You saw the exit ramp. I went, no, don't split off. This isn't Fast and Furious. And you said, yes, I'm going straight into the chaos. And then, of course, I went, yeah, that makes sense.
I will say, just since I talked about the XFL, I was very happy to see that we got Brandon Golden, not Brandon Copper, out of Brandon Silvers this weekend. I'm hoping to see that continue throughout the season. But I want to just say a big shout out to AJ Smith on the coaching staff for the Roughnecks, because I'm telling you, I have a feeling that if the Roughnecks continue down the path that they've been down, it's going to be a lot thanks to him. But being at that game really made me excited to go see the Gamblers here in Houston. And I don't know if I ever finished that, but a good 80-90% of the folks said they're going to come out to those games. Which makes me even more excited. I will do whatever I can to help sell tickets. I will stand on freeway overpasses with big Gamblers signs. I don't give a flip. We're getting a sellout for that game whenever it is that it happens. I'm ready.
I'm telling you now, whenever that day comes, that will be, I love crap like this with watching marketing and all this stuff happen. Because if you have 2 teams in Houston that are competing for that, that's going to be, to me, I find it fun because I'm also a bystander, so I'm more watching this play out. But that's going to be like a spring football turf war.
It's going to be a flippin' blast. But hey, the fun is not over. We got some new picks in. Your Panthers are up.
Go.
You want to go pull that pick up?
Oh, I'm going to pull that up, man. I got to do it. I got to do it. Here we go. Oh, sweet. All right, here we go. Linebacker Santrell Latham from Southern Mississippi picked with the Panthers' 3rd overall pick. That is the last one of the 3 rounds where they're going to have 5 minutes time to pick it up. But yeah, picking up some linebacker talents. Again, Santrell Latham, Southern Miss.
We got 2 more
Michigan
in here
Panthers.
as well.
Rights with the Michigan Panthers.
So coming in for the Maulers, Traquan Dorsey, offensive lineman, St. Francis University.
And St. Francis, that's where, yeah. Okay.
And then let's see what my Gamblers got here. Brevin Allen from Campbell, defensive end. Again, wait, no, I'm giving props to the wrong guy. That's for the showboats. Good pick, don't get me wrong, but here's the real pick here.
Yeah,
Joseph Fisher,
really coming in.
offensive guard from Shepherd, going to the Gamblers. All in, getting signed up here. Fast and Furious, though. So again, Brevin Campbell. My God, Brevin Allen from Campbell, defensive end, going to the Memphis Showboats. Boy, oh boy, are things flying. We're having fun. Good picks, solid picks. And again, kind of going back to what we thought, it really is a good mix of guys that we might see come in the league this year, maybe come in the league next year, but some of them will probably stick in the NFL. That's the name of the game, and that's that's really the hope for a lot of these guys. They want to make it in the NFL, but here, the best part of it is if you don't get it right away, now you have that chance to be the next Kevontae Turpin, right? You have the chance to come into the USFL and prove a point, right? You're going to be the MVP, baby. You're going to come in and you're going to show the NFL, hey, Detroit Lions, maybe you made a mistake. Hey, whoever it is, whatever team is your team, Chicago Bears in your case, Zach, you made a mistake because this guy is the guy that you need on your roster. We do have another pick in already. Again, Fast and Furious in the 3rd round.
Now they're starting to really come in wild here. Yeah. Oh, DJ Ivy, Miami, the U.
Yeah. Which I think that'll make a lot of fans happy. I know there's something about Miami fans. They're always in my chat. I don't know if it's a thing because of The Rock and the XFL or what it might be, but getting some representation down here in the USFL, sign them up, go my Breakers.
My Breakers.
Flipping the script. Flipping the script.
Rest in peace to that joke.
See, I like that one better, Zach, because now I feel less mean, because loose lip flip is just.
Yeah, that one, I guess, I'm glad you transitioned over. We did, because I was also using it too.
Sometimes.
I get it.
Girls aren't the only ones that want to have fun. I'll just say that. So we're having too much fun. Don't call the cops because it must be this illegal to have this much fun on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm telling you what. We got stars on the clock here now. 3 more picks left in the third round. Do have a notification. Let's see. Nope, not yet. But again, fast and furious. I mean, I'm kind of amazed how fast we're going. And we are getting the graphics. So I wasn't sure if we were just going to get text posts like we do with the transactional piece as far as free agent signings, releases. Screw that. USFL social team, they take no breaks. Not all heroes wear capes,
sir.
Baby. They're coming. They're bringing us live.
Sir.
And you know what? I think we got our next pick here coming from Temple.
I believe so.
Offensive tackle for the Philadelphia Stars, Isaac Moore. Third round, 21st pick overall. Again, I got to say, a lot of offensive tackles coming in this draft here.
Another local talent, or at least in terms of local school talent, Temple. Remember, that's a Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
University.
Again,
so,
and I think that's probably
double whammy there.
Part of the play here too. Again, if you're trying to gauge, okay, let's say you get to the NFL, maybe you're on the practice squad, and you could say, well, you know what? I'm still young. I got plenty of time in my career to get back here. Let me go to the USFL for a year. And you know what? It may not be in Philly, but Michigan's right around the corner, baby. Right? And then the hopes is they're in Philly next year. Or, in the case of Houston, please bring them here. I will make sure that stadium's sold out all in. You have that option at your fingertips. Let's see. I think we have a Stallions pick in as well. Oh,
it would be that time. We'll have Stallions and Generals. It would be the last 2 of the third round.
Okay, so let's pull this up here. We got another quarterback, Malik Cunningham out of Louisville.
Oh,
all right.
Really?
Yeah, good pick. Again,
Malik Cunningham, huh?
Championship team coming out swinging. Getting the QB picks here. Let's see.
Malik Cunningham, though.
One more pick left in the third round, going to the Generals. So we'll see. I have a feeling that one's going to be coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to it's funny. I'm trying to line up things to give you for facts. And these things are so rapid fire right now is the deal. I guess last pick, for example, Isaac Moore for the Stars out of Temple, a lot of AAC nods, by the way. So keep that in mind. Someone that I think is, again, right on that edge there. Malik Cunningham, though, as I say, he's had his fair share of moments, without a doubt, for Louisville. So I've heard it. I've had him talk to me in several college circles.
Right.
Dude, I think has underlying talent right there. And I think actually, Andrew Small, interesting comparison, but I don't completely disagree there. Discount, maybe not discount of a discount, but a Lamar Jackson archetype. That is what I was going to put.
Sign him up there.
That's what I was trying to go for.
So we do have the final pick in the third round here, 23rd overall pick, wide receiver J.J. Holloman out of Tennessee State. The name sounds familiar. Am I crazy or am I just overthinking it? Maybe I'm thinking of a different Holloman from something else. They didn't have a picture for him in this, so it's hard to kind of match him up here. But I'm curious, what do you got on him for the General's second pick in the third round? Well, second overall pick.
Currently digging. I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping up all.
We should have a little bit of time now. Now we're at the end of the third round, going into the second round, so we should have a little 5-minute intermission kind of going in between the two, which gives us a little breaking point to kind of break down what we have. And generally, the league will put out a recap of recap of all the picks in the third round. So let me pull that up while you're taking a look.
So here's something that's interesting. Holloman, I was going to say, if I'm looking at the right one, I believe that's right. Yes. So this is at least the bio I have on him from Tennessee State. Looks like it's a little bit behind in terms of the data from what I can tell. But Holloman was originally picked up as a prospect for Georgia, then went to FIU, and then ended up at Tennessee State. So higher up prospect in terms of talent, but it looks like, took different avenues to go with the transfer portal. But I know like I said, I've heard his name around for some time. You're not crazy.
Yeah.
It's not just you. I'm very much, I say he's very familiar with the name that I have heard around in some college circles.
So we're just under a third of the way through from the draft. I'm going to say something that seems out of character for me, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Here's that's my initial take on who's winning the draft, who has probably the most thought out, solid picks. Again, this is all in theory because a lot of these guys, some of them we won't see this year. But let's just say they were, right? Let's just go out, draft strategy.
Hypothetical.
So, I mean, first and foremost, I think not the Mullers, but I think they're doing good too. But I put the Panthers. Clearly, they have the first pick. I think they're making wise picks out of it. But, the Generals, they may have been hindered with losing that first round pick. Although they're short a pick, I think they're doing pretty damn good, if not on par with the Panthers and being at the end of the row there. Coming in maybe near tied third place. I'm going to probably have a mix of probably the Maulers and the Gamblers. I'm seeing the picks. Maybe it's the homer in me that I'm going to put the Gamblers a little bit higher up, but I truly do like what I'm seeing out of this. I'm curious your thoughts. I'm curious about the chat's thoughts. Who's winning this baby so far? Now, again, you have the opportunity to be a homer. You do have the first pick in the draft, and I even said it first that I think you guys might be making maybe the best pick so far. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, I do have that opportunity to be a homer if I wanted. And again, based on just like, if I were seeing that these guys that I could guarantee that they'd be right away. I think it'd be great because for example, Tanner Morgan, to me, a little more competition. I know I like Eric Berrier. I thought Josh Love did solid at the end of the season when he got sent over from the Maulers, but having someone like a Tanner Morgan, who's a young talent coming out with a chip on his shoulder to prove something, that helps with the QB room. So that's why I was kind of high on that. There may be, I say right now that they kind of fit my upper tier in terms of the upper four. I actually like the Stars. I think that the Stars to me have been adding a lot of guys I think are key pieces that they need right now. At least they're thinking of guys I think that could possibly join up later in the season or that would be solid chances to join up next year that are line talent. Again, they were last year, their weakest position, I thought, was their pass pro. Run game, they definitely had their share of the run game. Trust me, Darnell Holland, Paul Terry, and company, they were able to find their lanes. Dexter Williams in the championship game, who's back this year, they were able to find their lanes. But pass pro, I think that was one of their struggles, keep Case Cookus upright and not taking as many hits, especially in the playoffs. Jesus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like their pickups. Honestly, I like what the Generals are doing. To be honest, even though they've had to delay, because I think like Adrian Martinez to me, I think that's someone that, again, I could see he might have a chance to slip through the cracks and he could be picked up and take his shots, and it's a dual threat QB. So you want to keep the same system across the board.
100%, yep.
You can have someone that's an archetype like DeAndre Johnson. That's great. So I like that. I think the breakers to me are the ones that I'm curious how many of those picks will land. Like I said, Tyler Scott to me, he's one because of the speed. I'm just like, I don't know at all if you'll see that man come 4.29. That speed, again, that is NFL speed. I will be damned.
Some team, somebody's going to take him.
Year.
Yeah, somebody's going to get him.
No offense, because I would love him in the league, but that man should be in the NFL with that type of electricity on his legs.
And hopefully it's the Lions, because we're going to restore the roar. Hey, did I tell you anything? Did I tell you this, Zach? So I know I talk about a lot of 12-0, 12-0, 12-0. Lions, baby. I don't know about the playoffs. I'm not going to look into the future there. Here's my official prediction for the Lions record next year. Do you want to take a guess?
Sure. I'm going to go with 11-6.
Close. 17-0, baby. 17-0.
Close.
Restoring the roar.
This man says close.
I mean, You knew it was coming. I thought you knew it was coming. But I'm so ready for the Lions to be good. That's probably the true sign of my heart's going to be broken. Just please, for the love of God, win a playoff game so I can spend some money on your merchandise. I need a new jersey, Charlie Batch.
You have options now. You don't have to wear a Charlie Batch jersey.
Well, I refuse to pay money to a team that can't win a playoff game. They've won one, Zach. One in my lifetime. I'm turning 40 this year.
Aiden Hutchinson exists now. You can go and get that.
All right. So, hey, we got our first pick in the 4th round here.
Give me another one. Michigan. What we got?
Pull it up here. Let me just pull the screen. Oh, Zach, you gave me. I knew. I'm surprised it took us 4 rounds to get to a name I couldn't pronounce. DJ Schaaf Jr. I'm going to try.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm Schaaf was what I was
okay, good. You know what? I think we're good.
Another U.
Yeah, offensive lineman, 4th round, first pick of the 4th round, 24th pick overall. Michigan Panthers continuing to fill that offensive line. You love to see it. Now, again, I think we're going to start moving fast and furious. And, next thing you know it, we're going to be halfway through this draft, which I did not anticipate was going to happen like this. I'm glad, honestly.
Speed.
Keep us on our toes. It's more fun the rapid fire here.
The speed. Yeah, actually, it's an interesting Schaaf, and I think there's another pick in. Now that I think about it, I don't want to. I'll hold off on the Schaaf combo.
Yeah, let's pull this up here. So we have
Philando Jordan, Southeastern Louisiana. And some people are very excited for Philando Jordan, defensive back out of Southeastern Louisiana. And yeah, look at this. User Bug Shucker. Wow, Mahler's got a stud.
That's what I like to hear. And this is, again, keep in mind, might not see him next year, 2-3 years from now. That's what I love about this, right? This is the USFL cementing the fact that they're future forward thinking and in this for the long haul. They're not thinking about USFL this year, next year, 5, 6, 7 years down. Sorry, Zach. It feels like you have something going.
No, it's fine because I want to get Bug Shucker. Curious, even more so because I have to go check now. If someone's saying he's a stud and is going crazy, and it's not just him, there's a few in the chat. So we're talking Southland Conference defensive player nods. All second team performer for all FCS, All American, first team All Southland Conference. The accolades just run down the bio like crazy. Clearly, this gentleman. Jesus, it is half the page of his bio is accolades that he has had in his FCF career. That is, man's a performer out there for Southeastern Louisiana.
So, the Gamblers are on the clock now, taking their time, making sure to be, calculated. We're, like I said, a little bit.
And you got it in.
Boy, let's see. Again, Stetson Bennett, come on, baby. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we got. I'll be happy with whatever it is, but we know. Let's see what we got here.
If anything, I like.
Ooh, all right.
If anything,
you know what? I'd say this is a solid pick for the Gamblers here. Let me just pull it up over on the screen. Scott Matlock, defensive tackle from Boise State here. You know what? Solid pick for the Gamblers. This is somebody I would like to see maybe on the team. We need that defense. That's one of the pieces that we got scraped heavily from last season to this season beyond the coaching staff. Need a focus on the defense, the defensive line, defensive tackle, sign them up. And you know what? If you're going to use a picture of a guy and the guy has a picture of himself holding a trophy, then I say that's the picture you use. And so I love seeing that from the USFL social teams because let's keep in mind, 1, I'm going to like this post. 2, building a championship team in Houston, 12-0, baby.
They're coming in fast now. Let's get 2 more picks in. Or sorry, 3. We're 3 behind. First off, the Showboats. Benny Sapp III, Northern Iowa. He's a defensive back coming out of there for UNI. Running back Keaton Mitchell from Eastern Carolina going to the New Orleans Breakers. And Truman Jones, defensive end from Harvard.
Ooh.
Heading on over to the USFL, over to the Philadelphia Stars. So another guy, Harvard's over there in the tri-state area. So, you got another dude It's over there. And there's some good ball players from Harvard. Hey, remember Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one that I think a lot of people know right off the gate is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I want Fitzmagic in a spring football league at some point. I'm telling you, he just feels perfect for it. I don't know.
It would have been nice. I think a few years ago that would have been nice.
Yeah. It's defensive end. So what does that mean? We have the Stallions then around the clock, or did they get their pick in yet? I don't believe so.
Not that I am seeing just yet. Let's see here. So right now I'll go Truman Jones, last year, second team All Ivy League as well. William V. Campbell Trophy semifinalist, Bolger Low Award, top defensive player in New England, as well accolades. So accolades among the wazoo for this gentleman over there in the Ivy League.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. And I'm sure that's what the coaches are looking for, man. I mean, when it comes with accolades, it's also generally an indicator that the players are, there's a certain dedication that you need to be an athlete, right? And there's certain things that you have control over, certain things that you don't. But some of these guys, I mean, as much flack as somebody like Tom Brady gets, right? That dude would show up to the stadiums at like 3, 4 in the morning overnight. I mean, there's no questions why he got a divorce. We'll just leave it like that, right? That dude's first love was football.
It certainly
and
was.
Losing money, giving all of it to FTX. That is such a sad story. But anyway, I'm sure that probably had a little bit to do with the divorce as well. I'm not going to lie. When all of your life fortune, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But when you get into the accolade side of thing, I mean, I played sports, you played sports. There's always that guy on the team that is like, he's trying to collect those like a little badge, almost like if you were like a Boy Scout and you got a little patch for it.
Well, yeah.
That's what I like to see. I mean, you want that guy on your team. We do have the Stallions pick in here, wide receiver Darius Davis out of TCU. So I love seeing some Texans heading over to Birmingham.
Am I missing something? That sounds very familiar. Darius Davis, got to fill him up.
So that leaves us one more pick in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Then we're kind of sort of technically halfway through. I'd say we were, but we actually have one extra pick in the second half of the draft.
And Darius Davis, I was going to say, for the Stallions, they pick up a really talented special teamer for kick return, punt return right now. So 2020 4th team All-American as well. Honorable mention All Big 12 in 2020. In 2020, he also was honorable mention Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Year. Earl Camber Tyler Rose Award honorable mention Player of the Week versus Oklahoma State. Co-Special Teams Player of the Week in 2020 versus Texas Tech. So, special teams out the wazoo for TCU. That is definitely a pick. They are going for more returns or for gadget player-esque archetype. That's what that appears to be.
And we do have the final pick of the 4th round in defensive lineman Victor Jones out of Akron. Now, it's going to sound weird when I say this. He's not local to New Jersey, but I would say he's pretty close to the hub that they're playing in out of Canton, Ohio. Akron and Canton, I believe it's less than an hour away. So maybe this is another one that we'll see here. The Generals, I think, are coming out swinging. Like I said, they were hindered with the movement of the pick, but they're coming out, and I think they're making the moves that they wanted to make here. So, as a Generals fan, you should be pretty happy with what you see coming through.
Thank you, Mike Poe, for saying. Let me get the quote here again, because he said, "Yes, the MAC has some majorly underrated players." You are correct, sir. I graduate from Ball State University. Get some Maction Tuesday night football is some of the most fun football in college sports because it is wacky. And MAC sports in general is extremely unpredictable.
Yeah.
The chaos of it is perfect. There's some good talents out of MAC sports that don't get enough credit. Thank you for the shout out there. That deserves a lot of more praise than it does get in that sector. So yeah. Look, Maction, I gotta call Maction out when it gets brought up. Because I have to
sign you up. Now I know, it ain't the Big Ten because that's what rules supreme over everybody. I'm sorry. And I know some Stallions fans probably don't want to hear that either, but get over it. But no, Mac is fun, bro. They know how to have a good time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Newsroom. Newsroom knows how to have fun. Mac knows how to have fun. Let's see. Any University of Buffalo or Syracuse guys drafted? I don't believe so. I don't think we have any yet that we've come
we
through.
We have not had anyone come across our screen yet with those schools.
I think Appalachian State, App State. I'll do
Appalachian.
Whatever. You know,
App State.
This is that
Appy
Detroit
State,
public
some have been
schooling
saying.
at play here. App State. I think they're the only ones that maybe have multiple picks so far. I could be wrong on that. But if you want to check, head over to USFLnewsroom.com, which, of course, you should be checking out daily for the latest news. We do have an official draft tracker over there. It has all the deets, so you can keep it all in one place so you don't have to, like, sift around on social media or wherever it might be. But here we do. We do have the full fourth round graphic here.
Let's kind of catch our breath with the fourth round. Fourth round went by real quick though. And I'll go with the chat. By the way, Keaton Mitchell. The more I read, the more I like. For the Breakers, it's very explosive back there. Like I said, Philando Jordan. That one you guys sold me right away. That was one that I'll be honest with you, I've been trying more in recent years to keep up with the FCS scene. Definitely somebody I'm going to keep my eyes if Maulers can land him, which trust me, the Horton clan will be very happy to pick up a talented DB if they can get him to land with them. So that was definitely a pick. I think both of those two agreed on, father and son.
Sure. Yeah, that's another thing. And I mean, since we're kind of in a segue here, I would be curious to get be a fly on the wall in the Maulers draft room, because I mean, just right there. Well, Jaron, he was with the Maulers last year, right?
Yep.
Now this year, his dad's coming in as the coach. We've already seen Daryl Johnson kind of hint that Jaron's on the radar of guys that will probably move into a head coaching role at some point in his career in the USFL. It's something that they're aware of. They're ready. And I think that's kind of the cool part of the league. But we're seeing an interesting aspect here of Jaron has the legacy information, probably helping out his dad, but then his dad has so much experience from a championship caliber team as a coach, as a player. I would love to get that insight. Now, again, if you do want to get close to it, you should be in the Discord. There's a link down below. Jaron, amazingly, is in our Discord chat. And I mean, he will not hold back. He'll tell you. I mean, I've seen Jaron say the funniest things in there. I mean, he's having a good time, and he'll be completely honest with you on his thoughts. But just another reason you should be over in the Discord, the Newsroom Discord. We like to have fun. Another thing, just because I didn't mention it yet, but we're actually planning on doing some recording. We're going to be making an appearance on our good friend Angelo over on USFL Today.
Yes.
So Zach, you and I, after this, we got to figure out timing and what works best to kind of get that going. But I would assume that'll be coming out within the next week. So again, the USFL community, sign them up, whether it's USFL Newsroom, USFL Today, USFL Network, Sideline Sports Network. I think that's what their name is. SSN.
Yes.
We
SSN.
love the USFL community. Like there's no, that's the one thing I love. I love spring football. I'll go see the XFL. I'll go see the USFL. There may be a little bit of bitterness and banterness in the XFL community. Sometimes I stay out of it. Cause we have XFL Newsroom. We haven't run into that on the USFL side. I plan to stay it that way. Make sure you're supporting these community members. I mean, the more of us there are, the better the league will do. And honestly, the more information you guys are going to get as well. I mean, never a bad thing to have too many, I'd say, right?
No, without doubt. No, trust me. I think if anything, for the Discord's sake, it's definitely worth it jumping in to have Jaron, because like you.
So I have
dudes.
I have an interesting tweet up here. So one of the draft picks for the Maulers chimed in. He quote tweeted the pick. And to me, this tells me something. Thank y'all for giving me a chance to chase a dream. Let's work. To me, that tells me he's ready. He is ready. Traquan Dorsey is ready to come and make an impact over here for the Maulers. So against offensive lineman, their third round pick, 17th overall, St. Francis University, ready to start that revenge tour, ready to get to work. I mean, the Hortons aren't messing around, and I would say they're making picks that I think they're ready to have come join them in that camp if need be.
Yeah, not only the Hortons. I mean, let's remember, Lonnie Young has been one of the most aggressive GMs this offseason, and it's been stressed. I mean, you talk to Jaron, you talk to John Tomlinson over there. This is even before Kirby Wilson had left and stepped down in place for Ray Horton, or stepped down. Ray Horton took his place. They are hell bent on not being the same Maulers team as they were last year.
Oh no.
I think they did a lot of learning last year. They were one of the teams I think that had a lot of learning curve from what we've gathered, and they're ready to. They want to make an impact. No more basement bottom feeding. Competitive North Division, which that's saying something considering that the Stars and Generals already. You look at those roster and returning players, and you go, "Oh boy, that's man." That's a tall task, but
the North is going to be. Honestly, it feels like it could be like the NFC North, right? The North Division,
Black and Blue
just
Division,
going to town. I mean,
or Black and Blue.
Yeah,
Conference.
exactly. But you get what I'm saying here. Like there is going to be some beat 'em up, broken down, manly football, if you will, just old school stuff going on up there. Because I think the Hortons they're going to make a hell of a defensive team. I think we're going to see a little bit of a shake up there, which. And I think not the Maulers, but the Panthers, getting that home team advantage, that's clearly going to help. We already talked about that midseason stretch. If they can go into that Detroit, into that week, April 30th, what is that, week 3? Oh, go on.
New pick.
Oh, okay. Let's see who we got here.
Round five. Here we go.
Michigan
Michigan Panthers.
The draft. Let's pull it up here. Why is it not? It's not showing for me. Did they delete it?
You'll get it.
Oh man,
you should. It's only up for 18 seconds.
Is it somebody I wanted?
I don't know. Oh. I mean, we'll see. Linebacker Deshaun White from Oklahoma.
Oh, nice pick.
Got a Sooner joining
up. There we go. Boomer Sooner. Panthers. Sign him up.
Boomer Sooner.
Linebacker.
Here we go.
I thought you were going to tell me Stetson Bennett got picked up. I was waiting for it. It's like, I'll take it.
I think you want to hear that name.
I'm the only one. I'm the one.
The chat. I swear I've seen someone definitely wants to see Sean Clifford get picked up.
Hey, I'll take that too.
From Penn State.
Sign us up. Yeah, you never know, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, Deshaun White earned honorable mention, all Big 12 recognition from league head coaches, starting all 12 games last year. 81 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 picks, 6 pass breakups, and 3 QB hurries for his 2022 campaign. So very much talented Big 12 linebacker. Someone that might, though I think again gets looks in the NFL, but if he comes to this level,
hey, they got a spot open for him, right? And then same with Maulers, staying on the defensive side, defensive end from Florida A&M, Isaiah landing a spot.
HBCU,
sign him up. Something to bring up here. They were just at the God, Zach, why can't I talk?
HBCU.
Thank you. The HBCU Heritage Bowl. Thank you. Yesterday, we had Daryl Johnston, we had Jim Pop, and I believe I heard a couple of players were even there helping them kind of scout it out a day before the draft, which, I mean, I would love to be that player balling out that day, right? Wouldn't that be the day? Hey, the scouts are here. And by the way, they got a little draft tomorrow. Hey, sign me up. Let me get the oil going in these arms here. Boom, boom, boom. Tackle, 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 whatever it might be. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of that coming to fruition already. But that would put, let's see. So I think we already have some more picks coming in. No, maybe not.
Well, and shoot, land. I mean, you can get the pick up and ready. I mean, dude won the Buck Buchanan Award for best FCS defensive player in the country.
There we go.
That is a very prestigious award in the FCS level. So, Maulers are definitely looking at one. That's a guy that's going to get NFL level looks. But they are at least swinging to the fences to see maybe if they get lucky, they at least have his rights.
All right. So here's where we're at. Round 5. Houston Gamblers, all in, season of victory, 12-0. Joining on the team, defensive tackle Jeffrey Johnson out of Oklahoma. Another.
Boomer Sooner.
Now we're getting some of those duplicates here. This one, again, I think we'll probably get some NFL eyes on him. But, looking to the future here, I will take it. And like I said, I don't want to just go 12-0 in 2023, Zach. I want to go like 36-0 over a span of 3 years, if you dig what I'm saying, right? Like, so these are the pieces that are going to help us move down that line here, which would also, so now that we got that, I mean, we are like really moving through this draft here. Showboats are up next. But we are now, whether the extra pick at the end or not, we are now officially, well, actually, no, we're not officially. We'll be officially halfway through after this round. Why am my brain is shot, Zach. I'm not used to thinking on a Tuesday, but we actually back to back right away here. So we have
tight end.
Yeah. Which one are you seeing here?
I'm seeing the Showboats.
Oh, wow. We have
Michael,
3 in here then. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that real quick then. So Showboat's got Michael Ezek from UCLA, which I saw someone mention that over there on the chat. Meanwhile, as we keep moving, the Breakers, Isaiah Moore, NC State linebacker, for their 5th round pick, and then Earl Bostic Jr., offensive tackle from Kansas, going to the Stars. The Stars are loading up on the linemen. I'm telling you right now, I like Bart Andrus's play right here. Now, credit, it's not been as heavy on the specialty players. I get that. But at the spring level, even more so than the NFL level, and that's hard for me to even say, good linemen are hard to come by. If you can stock up on young talent out of the gate, that is a big win. I think, especially if you are thinking future years down the road, that's future-proofing type pickups. So I get what Bart's doing. I honestly like what Bart's doing. That's why I have him as arguably one of, if not my top draft right now, because if we're talking future-proofing, and we're talking trying to build what makes a successful team run from the basics, that's what I like about this so far. He just keeps on adding tackles and O-line, left and right now.
I mean, this is a fun draft. Again, this is fun to watch breakdown. Now I'm curious to see, I don't know if we will get a supplemental draft just because I think we have the free agency kind of working through that in itself, but I'm curious to see the guys coming out of the hub this year, hub football, right? That's going to be, I think, very important to maybe the progression of some of these teams. I've talked about it in previous episodes, but let's look at the guys that came out of the hub last year for the league. And it was guys like Jamar Smith, Kyle Sloter, some of these bigger names that really made a flipping name for themselves in the USFL last year. So, I mean, just these guys, this is just the beginning. Training camps next month. Then we're all heading. I mean, it depends on where you are in the country. We have 4 new hubs to go to, baby. Week 1, you're either going to Birmingham, you're going to Memphis, or you're watching on TV. But if you're going to Birmingham, like I said, Spring Stock, baby, Spring Stock 2. So nice. We're doing it twice. It's a 2-day event. Day 1 in Birmingham, Alabama at Casey Sports Bar, formerly Todd English Pub in the West and across the street from Protective, kicking off at 12 p.m. Central. We're going on live, so if you can't make it, join us online. Then we're doing a watch party for the Showboats game after. But then we're taking a little road trip. We're going to show you how easy it is to get from Birmingham over to Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to make the trek, and then we're going to have a tailgate bright and early at 9 a.m. Central till noon until the game, the Grudge game, when the Houston Gamblers take on the Michigan Gamblers. And I am ready for that.
Panthers, Gamblers, man, what are you doing?
Whatever.
2 Gamblers? 2 Gamblers?
We're getting there. Speaking of Gamblers.
I'm messing with you right now, man. So.
No, it's all good. We do have a couple picks in here. We got the Birmingham Stallions coming in. Illinois State defensive end Zeke Vanderburg. And then I believe I saw the Generals pick is in as well, if you want to pull that one up.
Yeah, let me get that bad boy up there while I'm at it. And give me that pick. Yes. Dejan Warren from Jackson State. That's the second Jackson State guy going off the board in this draft. Cornerback for them. So that is their 5th round pick. That's only their 4th pick, though. Keep that in mind. They do double up in the 10th round. Remember that. But that is only their 4th pick they've had so far.
You watch that pick, that last pick, the scuff pick, Stetson Bennett, and then I'm really going to be mad at the Generals for just
I do wonder.
Cleaning it up. Somebody's got to go for it, right? Am I crazy in thinking that one pick is worth taking the risk? Again, maybe not this year, but 2-3 years from now, there's a good chance he doesn't ever come to the USFL, but I will not say what I was going to say. But if he does come to the USFL, I mean, you just effectively beat out 7 other teams in getting the rights to him if he ends up making the jump, right? And I feel like that's worth it. Now, the more we're seeing how this draft is working out, I feel like that's when we're going to see the really crazy risks is at the end. Hey, you kind of got the pieces that you're fit. You already know what's on your training camp roster, at least more or less. Flip it. Let's just see. Let's just throw out there. Let's make a pick for maybe 5 years from now and see what happens.
Without a doubt. Here's a fact with Dejan Warren. When he came over to Jackson State in 2020, he was the #1 overall JUCO product, so junior college prospect in the country in 2020 when he made the jump to, of course, the HBCU Titan that is Jackson State. Like I said, very respectable school in the HBCU community, and at least the program wise, and a lot of that due to Deion Sanders building up.
I mean, Deion, man. I mean, it's weird when Deion Sanders became a coach. I was like, I don't know if that's going to work out. Was I wrong?
Well, I mean, you always wonder about players converted coaches. It's hit or miss at times, but he definitely is. He showed his stripes.
I thought, I just thought he was going to be one of these guys that I think part of his charm is his ego, right? But I didn't think that would play well as a coach. But you know what? There's maybe more to Deion Sanders than I know. I mean, he really, truly seems to be making a connection with his players. And I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things you need as a coach. Yeah, clearly you need to know how to strategize, play a game, no drills, no different plays, try to outsmart your opponents. But truly at the end of the day, if your players don't feel comfortable around you, empowered by you, feel like they're on the road or being treated like they're like being lifted up, then your team is going to suffer because of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's doing so dang good is those players love playing for primetime. Now, again, I would have loved to see him in a spring league coaching. I think he would be wild.
Could you imagine?
I think he would be wild on the sidelines,
Easily the most vocal, whatever league were to have gotten him.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, whoever would run social for whatever one it would be at that case, he would almost have to be guaranteed at least 1 to 2 hits a week.
Right.
Because that's just his personality.
He knows how to have fun. I mean, I remember watching him in the good old, because he was in Super Bowl 30? Was that when he was playing for the Cowboys, I want to say? Feels like it. I'm dating myself with that one, but it's somewhere in there. It's been a while. Excuse me if I don't have picture perfect memory anymore. When I'm talking about Super Bowl 30, and it feels like yesterday too. I remember watching it in my friend's house who lived down the road, like 4 houses down from me across the street, sitting like kitty style, cross-legged on the floor, with a bowl of chips. And I don't know why I have such vivid memory with that, but I can't remember exactly what Super Bowl it is. I think it was 30 though. I'm pretty sure.
It's been a while since I've watched I was going to sing this part, but it's been a while since I've watched the Cowboys in a Super Bowl. You can sing it if you want. I don't have the confidence in this.
Hey, you never know if Daryl Johnston's watching. So, hey, Cowboys, sign him up.
Oh man. Careful now.
Moose.
Careful now.
I mean, he was there though when the Cowboys were running strong and heavy.
Well, while we're waiting on getting the back half of the draft, thank you all so far for tuning in. Mm-hmm. It's been an awesome cycle right now, just kind of getting to announce these picks and talk with you all in the chat. Much appreciated. And hey, like I said, you guys want more content here. If you subscribe, stick around. Like we've been doing a lot more interviews. We post a lot more of the clips. We got basically weekly shows at this point in the season. Going to be doing recaps hardcore this year. That was something that we were kind of feeling out things last season. This year, we're diving into recaps. So you're going to get recap episodes every week during the regular season for sure. From at least one of us 3 main newsroom guys that jumps on for the USFL. But yeah, at least for today, we appreciate the response and feedback. You guys rock, and you're big reason why we love doing this stuff is because of fans like you guys out here that have tuned in so far.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If no, I don't know if we would do this if you guys weren't so awesome. You know what I mean? Sooner or later, it would get tiring. But the fact that, the USFL community has kind of supported us from the beginning. I've been a big proponent of pushing the community forward. I feel like I'm somewhat of an ambassador of like trying to like, hey, let's all have fun. Let's show the world that spring football isn't, because at the end of the day, this isn't a minor league. The USFL is not a minor league. This is a professional league run by professional people, professional football people, mind you, owned by a professional broadcast company in Fox that even has a broadcasting deal with NBC. Everything from end to end is professional here. And even looking at this draft approach, I think this kind of adds to that allure of, look, we're going out for the big names. Now it's up to them if they want to take a shot with us, take a chance with us, maybe move on somewhere else. If clearly if they get picked by the NFL, nobody's going to fault them. Fox isn't going to fault them. USFL's not going to fault them. We're not going to fault them. The fans, I'm sure there's going to be one or two that are like, hey, why didn't you come to my USFL? But I mean, who could realistically be mad about that? So either way, I'm so amped about getting back to Birmingham, and then furthermore going out to Memphis to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, because we're hitting all four stadiums. We're hitting all four hubs this year, Zach. Yeah. We have, like I said, week 1, April 15th, we're going to be in Birmingham for Spring Stock Day 1, Spring Stock Day 2 in Memphis on the 16th. The Motor City Meetup on April 30th over in Detroit City at Ford Field. Come and get live with us with Zach, James, and Jake from the Newsroom crew. And Grandma Kyleman's going to be there as well, so get signed up on that.
Oh my God! If she happens to watch this video, I'm gonna get a little text message or something. Yeah, I can already. I'll say it right now. Just try and mimic her voice. I'm so glad that you managed to mention me on your draft coverage. I'll be like, yes, Grandma, I'm very glad that my buddy mentioned you, and I'm glad that we got to acknowledge you, because I'll be honest with you, she has been like, I met up with her a few weeks back. She came down to Indianapolis, and that was all she said. It's like, make sure you tell me when these tickets go on sale for the Panthers. I'm like, yes, Grandma, I promise you, I'm going to let you know as soon as possible. You'll be the first to know. She was the first to know.
Good.
She's ready. She's ready to go and support them. I without a doubt loves that area, and she's up with my aunt and uncle and their kids. So she's having a good time. Good family support up there.
That's what I like to hear. Speaking of tickets, we have an interview coming soon. I don't know the exact date, but because I know we get a lot of questions about tickets, and what's the plan? I've even had a couple of people ask me, how do I get a suite in the USFL? Well, you know what? Stay tuned. Again, another reason why beyond subscribing, you want to click the bell. You get the morale, but you get the notifications not only when we're live, but when we drop new videos. But Zach, I hear you're working and setting up an interview with the ticket sales people over at the USFL with Brett Zaleski. Yeah.
If you didn't follow any of the social, he has basically been going all over the cities to kind of talk to folks in those markets. And yeah, we're currently in the process of getting that should happen though, from what I've been told by folks on the league's end. But yeah, that'll be a fun conversation. So hopefully we'll get a lot of your guys' questions answered for those that are in those local markets. Maybe get some things we weren't sure about, and we'll get maybe a little more clarity. But that's the thing. He's thrilled about the league. Dude's been like advertising at any chance he gets, and I mean he's ready to get some guys out there into stadiums and get fans in the stands. And I can't blame him. I mean, I think a lot of people that are fans of the USFL, they want to see these teams play when they get their chance. It is a crawl, walk, run cycle, as Daryl Johnston has said. But any chance you get to walk like you do this year, I'll tell you, I think some folks are going to come out and they're going to be passionate about it. I can't wait to see Detroit.
Right.
People coming out.
I'm ready. And like I said, I'm probably going to gain like 50 to 80 pounds at that game, just from all the good food alone. But then, we're also heading to Canton for summer stock, baby. We'll be there for the championship.
Canton, to me, I'm telling you, like the fact that it's not too far from Pittsburgh, and sure, it's a Pittsburgh team being advertised, but I'll tell you right now, I know this because of I work in television, full disclosure. I check stations from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
The league is running ads in Cleveland, Ohio. So they are not shying away from the city rivalries. There's 2 big metro markets within hours reach of each way you go.
Right.
It's a lot of people. If you get
100%.
any interest from both those cities, and you make it a fun family weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, you make it family friendly and affordable. And I think that's the name of the game. I think the USFL knows that. We saw it last year. I don't know if they're going to do something similar where kids get in free or maybe there's a discount, something like that. But again, another reason to tune in that interview because I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of details on that. Now, Canton to me, as far as like the championship game, is perfect. It's perfect because there's a couple things involved. You have a neutral location, right?
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's getting the home team advantage other than, hey, maybe the Maulers. Maybe the Maulers would be the closest to it because although they're playing in the hub, it's not technically their home hub. They're the closest, right? It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours in traffic. I mean, like I said, I went to the Roughnecks game over the weekend, Zach. You know how long it took me? Hour and a half. And I live in Metro Houston.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yes, it's not perfect. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not the same state. But as far as like proximity, I was by far the person that traveled the furthest to go to that game. And even to the Texans games, I talked to people that come out from Galveston, 2+ hours. People come out from Aggie Land, which is another hour north of me.
It all depends on how you market it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, if you give them a reason to come, you win enough games, I think people are going to be showing up. People love their football. I mean, there's a reason people love football. There's a reason it does the numbers it does because people can't get enough of it. And if you give them a reason, say, hey, look, you can come and bring 4 of your kids for less than $100, you can look at that and say, well, gee, if I was at an NFL game, I might not even get in the door for $100 for one ticket.
Right.
So
fascinating. So this is what's interesting now, because I've just been keeping an eye on the clock. It's definitely been, it's pushing that limit on this next this next Panthers pick. I'm wondering if they are overrunning their clock time.
It may be. Now, I do have another theory. I don't know if this was in the release. I'll have to double check. There could be a situation, because I want to say that there was in last year's draft, there was a slight intermission between the first half and the second half. That may, everybody needs a little sanitation break, if you will. That's what they call it at my office. I always think it's gross. Now I just know you're going to take a pee. But anyway, now we're getting it. Now we're talking. Anyway.
Easy now. YouTube might hear that.
Yeah, YouTube's like, oh, did you say pee?
Excuse me?
Don't say pee.
Bodily fluids?
Yeah, exactly. The illness we shall not name. Yeah, never mind. Now we're getting out of
That's
line.
it. I brought out the bodily fluids. I can't go farther.
Oh boy. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. We're halfway. I mean, technically not halfway through. We're one pick away from being halfway through, just because of the way they've shifted the Generals' picks there. But I'd say more or less we're halfway through. We're halfway through the rounds at least. And hey, we're clocked in less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours here for the first half. And I would have a suspicion that we're probably going to move even faster coming through the second half, especially near the end, because you got into. Oh, what do we got here?
Someone just gave the red flag on.
Okay, all right.
I think that theory's right about the Panthers being a little slow on the draw.
Yeah. I think you might be happy with this pick here. Again, maybe this just from where I'm at. But let me know when you got it up on your end.
All right. Nash Jensen, North Dakota State, going to the Maulers, offensive lineman with their 6th round pick for Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Did you see your
quality
Maulers pick?
And yes, I'm going over here. Levi Bell, Texas State.
See,
defensive lineman.
Now look him up, because I'm pretty sure he's damn solid, dude. Now again, that might be a reason why you might not see him this year. But I would be happy if I was a Panthers fan getting that pick. Again, maybe it's me living in Texas and I'm a little bit closer to it and whatever it might be. But I'd be pretty happy with that pick, and I'd be
Yeah, I mean-
ecstatic if he ends up making it over on
and
the
Bell's
team.
Bell's got accolades from last year. PFF All-American third team, All Sun Belt second team, All Sun Belt first team for PFF. So yeah, dude's definitely got accolades. So he'll get some looks without a doubt. I think we're getting more rolling in real quick now. Oh no, we're not, because I was looking at the gamblers here.
This
They
is
should be
our
on the
pick.
clock
I'm
next.
going to say this is when we finally get that Stetson Bennett, that halfway stretch. Just
And you
throw
picked
it
up
in there.
You picked up Bryce, and you're already. And I like how you're still going. Bennett's going. He's gonna come here. We're gonna get 2 QBs.
I'm going to be
Curtis Johnson's gonna just load them up.
Might as well. I mean, this is, again, future forward thinking. All right, Gambler's pick is in. Let's see who we got on the board. What do we got? All right, Keenan Isaac out of Alabama State, defensive back. Formidable in himself right there. I'm sure Stallions fans are probably kicking themselves a little bit on that pick, because they seem to want everybody that has played or walked through the state of Alabama to play on the Stallions. Well, we got one on you, buddy. We got him over here in Houston at the Gamblers. Take that, USFL expert.
Showboats adding a Tennessee product. Jerome Carvin from UT, offensive lineman. So their 6th round pick, a guy from, just a little ways down in Knoxville, Tennessee, or at least played over in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rowdy place, by the way. I've never been. My parents have gone several times. They love Knoxville. So, true college town through and through.
Yeah, I would love to go there. It was one of the places when I moved from Michigan and moved to Arizona, Knoxville and Memphis, Tennessee were both on my scouting list of places to move. And I'm still kind of kicking myself for not traveling out there at least once, but now we have a chance. Oh, here's a good question in the chat. I think I know your answer, Zach, but I'm going to ask you, are we pro beer snake?
I mean, yeah, because I like the beer snake.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock the beer snake.
No.
The only people I'll knock is the security at Audi Field for being something that I would definitely say more vulgar on here if I wasn't on YouTube. So,
Exactly.
I mean, look, no fun league crap shouldn't exist. Let them have the beer snake.
Free the snake or
okay.
face the lemons, we've heard.
Yes, free the snake, please.
We do have another pick in here for the Breakers, though. Defensive lineman Dante Stills out of West Virginia. Now, you know who will probably like this pick? Our friend Lowe from the USFL Network, because, he's a Breakers fan who lives in West Virginia.
Yeah, that is.
He's probably loving this pick
odds?
right now. I don't know if he's in the chat, but if you are, sign you up on the solid pick right there.
Still's going to get some attention too. He was any guy that's getting an all Big 12 first team nod. That's going to be someone's getting NFL attention. So Still's going to get some looks. Carvin was an East-West Shrine Bowl participant this year, and also had gotten offensive lineman of the week nods for Tennessee. But now Stills, yeah, if you get a first team all pro nod, generally the NFL is going to be looking your way for some portion of your pick. If not that, UDFA designation I can see in his future. So,
sure.
Hey, the Breakers, if they get the chance, they get the chance. That one definitely, I think, is one that they're going to have to cross both their hands over, or both their fingers over on their hands, if you know what I'm saying.
So this round, now the Generals are at the 6th pick. Their pick is in. We're going safety. Again, Texas. Texas getting some love today. Texas Southern, specifically.
Now we're back onto the standard pick selections for them up until the 10th round. So 6 through 9, you'll see them picking 6th. 10, you'll see 6 and 10 and 9, if you're catching the drift.
So this might be, and I believe it is, the first safety in the draft. So Derek Tucker, safety out of Texas Southern, heading to the Generals. So Stars are on the clock, and we might even have a Stars pick in here already. Fast and Furious today. I kind of love it. Let's see what we got.
Moving on over.
We do have a Stars pick in. Let's just pull it up here. Take our sweet time. Oh, okay. This name, again, you'll notice a trend with me, Zach. I know a lot about Texas sports and Michigan sports. We got Jose, I don't know why I can't say names. Ramez is probably what it is, out of Eastern Michigan, defensive end. But again, I love the picture on this. I don't know if you have the social post. He is posing down. He is showing this guy. He said, yeah, you think you're going to get through me? I don't think so, buddy. So Stars fans, I'd be pretty happy about that. But I believe the Eastern Michigan is one of these sneaky schools, Zach, where they produce high quality talent, bro. Like Eastern Michigan is one of these places where, everybody knows Michigan State. Everybody knows U of M. But Eastern Michigan, I would say, is competitive of spinning out guys that are going to play fun, flipping football. And like you said, action, baby.
We got the next Stallions pick. Again, Stallions, just like the Stars, they're going heavy tackle, heavy lineman pickups. As Colby Sorsdale from William & Mary getting picked up for their 6th round pick. Offensive tackle again, Colby Sorsdale.
Moving quick. I mean, shoot, man. Next thing you know, this thing's going to be over. We're going to be giving our takes. But, here's the thing, guys. We'll be back Friday for episode 48, I believe, of the USFL podcast.
Yeah.
And by then, we'll have time to kind of soak these in. And we'll probably give some analysis on, who we truly think won the draft. Guys that we think have probably the best chance of jumping over to the USFL, at least this year or maybe in the near future. But we love your input. Let us know down in the chat, down in the comments below. We'll scour that as well to make sure we feature that. And hey, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get some more USFL news this week. I mean, it's easy to forget that we still have some jerseys that need to be revealed. So you would assume that's going to be coming soon. My guess is that'll probably come closer to training camp. But maybe we'll get lucky. But Zach, I think more importantly, you know what I'm really excited about? I want to see the Showboats mascot.
Mascot and unis, man.
Yeah.
That'll be soon.
It's got to be. Well, I mean, even the social media teams teased it last week. I brought it up in a speculation zone maybe a few weeks back. Will they get a mascot? Will they just not deal with it because it's a new team? But no, it seems like they're going to get one. I want to see it, and I'm excited to see what it is. Now, is it going to be a boat? Is it going to be a sailor? The options are there. I do kind of want to see a boat, just a full boat with arms and legs.
That would be wild.
With like sunglasses, because he's a showboat, maybe throw.
Oh, yeah. Get a little swagger.
Yeah.
Swagger in him. I think if it wasn't for the fact that you have a British vessel named Bodie McBoatface, I would have asked so badly to put in the vote, because they voted on the names last year. They're going to vote on the mascot name again this year. It's going to happen.
It could just be Bodie or Showboaty.
Showboaty
McShowboaty-face. Taking an extra step,
Right. Here's while we're doing some more updates on player accolades. So Colby Sorsdale, William & Mary, 2-time All-CAA standout, consensus All-American selection as well. Definitely someone who has gotten the nods. Senior this past year for William & Mary as well for the Tribe.
Hold on, let me. Got a deal. Tend to these messages coming through. Everybody's got to have a piece of the ref. Sorry, there you go. Leave me alone. That's basically what I said. Leave me alone. I got stuff to do here, buddy.
We got draft coverage to handle, man.
I know.
What you doing? What are people doing?
There we go. All right. So let's see. We got who's on the board now?
We're back up. We're up to round 7.
Ooh, round 7.
Panthers are chilling on the clock once again.
Let's go. All right. Round 7. 3 rounds, 7, 8, 9, 4 rounds to go. Excuse me. My math is a little sad there. Again, that Detroit public school. I don't know what happened to me. I assume, I don't know. I'm not going to assume. I'll say it's probably better now than when I went. I don't know, though. I do not know. But hey, probably getting a little bit of a break in between rounds here. But you know what? Round 6 flew. I think we're getting these things in. And again, they are probably spacing this out, getting the picks, making the graphics, and then putting the graphics out accordingly. So all the picks are probably in or halfway in. So I think that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of a buffer between rounds. But it's nice. It gives us a chance to kind of talk about the things coming through. That being said, though, no, we don't have a pick, but we do have the Panthers social team getting in on the action, bringing us some information about their about Jarrett Horst pick. So let's just pull that up on the screen here.
Yeah, Jarrett Horst, who was earlier on their leadoff selection.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, this was brought up when we talked earlier, but as you can see in the graphic, you'll see on screen, dude's had a journey to get to Michigan State. Community college level, jumped to the Arkansas State, and then, transferred to Michigan State. And like I said, he had solid two seasons there for the Spartans. So, and hey, again, I will praise any team picking up lineman talent. Again, this level, I cannot stress enough, it is more crucial at spring football level to find lineman talent. And again, to me, even more so in the NFL, because it just becomes, you worry about the fall off at that spot because you can't have as much success with keeping your specialty players or QBs developing if you can't get your linemen to help protect or develop at the same time. So, teams that stock up on talent and use these rights picks like this, I'm going to give them praise for those choices.
Well, and here's the cool thing too. Let's say he ends up playing in the USFL next year and then moves on to the NFL. I want to see the USFL social teams take this graphic and update it. So now we have Ellsworth Community College, Arkansas State, Michigan Panthers, and now wherever, Detroit Lions, LA Rams, whatever it might be. You know what I mean? That's the kind of the beauty of this, is creating the journey for these guys where maybe it wouldn't exist before. Let's see who we got coming up. Nothing yet. So we're still waiting on the next round, 7th round coming up.
7th round.
So again, Generals are back at that 6th position. So we have Panthers, Maulers, Gamblers, Showboats, Breakers, Generals, Stars, and of course ending off with the Stallions, who, if you've been living under a rock, they won the flipping championship last year, so it only makes sense that they get the last pick in the round for the most part, other than the other ones that we've discussed here. 6 rounds in, I'm feeling, just me personally, I'm feeling good about my Gamblers picks. We'll have to see how many of them make the jump into the USFL this year. Well, I mean, we'll know pretty soon at training camp, about a month from now. Either way, I'm going back to the hub stuff that we kind of left off before the round jumped in. I need to start doing some recon. I'm assuming there's probably a list of guys that participated in these hub camps, and I would love to start analyzing those like people do these draft pools, because I think you'll start getting a good idea of guys that we might see in this league in the next year. And I mean, it's no guarantee, but if you can start looking at the teams, seeing what they're missing, especially after the draft, then you can start maybe even putting two and two together. Well, hey, everybody's got wide receivers, but this team's lacking. Let's take a look at hub and see who's there. Well, I might make a good educated guess that one of those guys is going to end up on that team, right? Let's see. We have some information in some chats here that I think are interesting. So this is Cavalier Fromage. Hopefully I'm saying your name here. Here's his thoughts on the best players drafted today. So Keaton Mitchell, running back for the Breakers, Darius Daver, wide receiver for the Stallions, Tyler Scott for the Breakers, and Isaiah Land, edge for the Maulers. I think we're leaving out here. I think the Martinez pick for the Generals is a big one. And did you mention any of the Panthers pick here? Because the Panthers, I mean, I feel like they've been knocking out the park. Zach, you've been calling out the Stars for kind of filling in those pieces where they see fit.
Right. I like the horse pick. To me, it depends on really who comes out. That's the thing. Who does join?
Right.
I personally, if Tanner Morgan chose to go to the USFL, to me, that's a win for the Panthers because it makes the QB room that much more competitive.
Right.
So I would say Tanner Morgan to me would be incredible if you could end up landing him. Otherwise, I guess like I said, I would say Jarrett Horst for me would be an immediate impact guy. Beyond that, I actually do like Levi Bell. So not a bad choice either. We do need more upfront muscle. Again, one of the weaknesses in the Panthers to me last year was their pass rush and just really becoming bullies up on the front seven. So I'll take extra reinforcements as needed with that.
So let's see. So now, I assume we're probably going to start getting the picks soon because we are about 10 minutes away since the last pick came in. But I don't know if I showed the recap graphic. So let's just pull that up right now for round 6. We'll just do a little recap. So coming from the top, Michigan Panthers, Levi Russo Bell, defensive tackle. Mahler's picking up Nash Jensen, guard.
There you go.
Keenan Isaac, quarterback. A corner. Why can I not talk today, Zach? Cornerback for the Gamblers, Jerome. Zach, take it away. I give up. I can't speak.
Oh my God. All right. It's showboat for the Showboats. You're meeting Jerome Carvin.
Thank you.
Then Dante Stills for the Breakers. Then you have Derek Tucker for the Generals, Jose Ramirez for the Stars, and then Colby Sorsdale for the Stallions.
There we go. Thank you, Zach. My mush mouth is getting the best of me today.
Apparently so, I guess. Know. Oh, we do have a pick now in for the 7th round. Another tight end off the board, which is, we'd say it's been slow going for tight ends, but Eastern Michigan getting more picks again. And it's a Panthers product. So this guy, hey, if you want to go play and practice at the university you're at, that's where they're going to be at, most likely is Ryerson Field. Gunnar Oaks, Eastern Michigan, will be picked up for the 7th pick for the Panthers with the 48th overall pick in the collegiate draft.
Yeah, we're coming in hot and heavy now. So we have another one from Incarnate Word going over to the Maulers. Taylor Grimes, wide receiver. I have a feeling the Hortons know something that we don't because I think this is their 2nd pick from Incarnate Word over there. So I'm assuming I don't, you would have to keep me honest here, but I'm assuming it's probably local to the area where they're at, but I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. No curtains, baby. And then, of course, my favorite picks, refs' favorite things, Gamblers pick here. Alex Jensen, offensive I don't know what it is. Offensive tackle, South Dakota.
There you go.
7th round pick, 50th overall, going to the Gamblers. Like I said, we're making some headway here.
Cavalier brought up what I was going to bring up the point for Grimes. Stays with his QB. If you do end up going with the Maulers, which, hey, chemistry is important.
100%.
I do agree. I mean, look, if we're going to talk about impact like that coming out of the draft, I mean, I'll throw that out there. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, that's a pretty high profile one, but chemistry does help right out of the bat for that type of stuff. So if you do have a talented quarterback and you're going to get one of his guys, it'll be nice.
For all those Breakers fans out there, we got a new one coming through to you. Darius Hagens, Virginia State running back, getting some more running backs over on the board over there for them. They're 52nd overall pick, 7th round. Like I said, we're moving here because let's see. Next up on the board, that should bring the New Jersey Generals. Yes. New Jersey Generals should be coming up after that. We did get the Showboats pick in there. Am I right? I believe so.
No, we did not. Nehemiah Shelton, San Jose State, cornerback.
There we go. I knew we were missing something. Let me pull that one up on the screen here. I was looking at, I'm filling out the draft tracker as I'm going. I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong. And lucky it was just one away because there's been times where I'm filling this out and I'm like 5 rows off and that's no fun. That's no fun. Cornerback. And I believe I saw the Generals pick is in as well. So let's take a little look-see here and see what we got going. There we go. Let me pull this one up here.
Yes, it is. Jermaine McDaniel Jr., North Carolina A&T, defensive end.
Oh, I have the Stars one up on the screen. So let me actually there we go. Now we're looking at the right thing. Sorry. But speaking of which, for the folks watching, you saw what the Stars pick is.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't announce it. But
so you bring it up Demontre Jacobs, South Florida.
Let me get these
or USF if you want to go with that.
Yeah, so all right, Demontre Jacobs, South Florida. Am I crazy? Or are they picking up? I know not the same school, but They've got a couple guys from that Florida region heading to Philly, if I remember. Now, again, I would have to look through my draft tracker and double check. But if anybody is curious, just head over to usflnewsroom.com. Like I said, which you should be checking out daily for all the latest news. But in this cadence, picks, all the picks are there. Live as they come in, we're bringing you coverage. I'm a madman. We're a madman. You got no sleep. I'm multitasking over here, updating a spreadsheet on the website while we're covering this stuff.
Again, the chat's right. Like the Stars have picked up 4 tackles in this draft.
Wow.
4 tackles. You got and you got 2 defensive ends.
And we do have the last pick of the round in here by the Stallions. So let's pull up. We actually have the full round recap already. So they had that ready to go. Grant Dubois. I'm going to say it's Dubois, I think. Wide receiver out of Charlotte is the final pick in the 7th round for the Birmingham Stallions, going for a wide receiver there. So we're 7 rounds in. Now we have 3 to go. 8, 9, 10. Generals get 2 picks in that last round. So, I mean, I feel like at this point they've been keeping up. And quite honestly, it might work in their favor having that second pick in the last round. It might not actually be as much of a hindrance as maybe some folks had thought. But, I mean, let's just do a recap here from the top. The Panthers, Gunnar Oaks, tight end out of Eastern Michigan. Mahler's picking up Taylor Grimes, wide receiver out of Incarnate Word. Alex Jensen going to the Gamblers, offensive tackle out of South Dakota. Here now it's my turn, Zach. Nehema Shelton. I'm sorry, and I apologize if you're listening, your family's listening. This is just par for the course. This is how I talk. As you've seen already in this stream, I've already stumbled over the word Alex, so don't feel bad. But cornerback out of San Jose State going to the Memphis Showboats. Darius Hagens, running back for Virginia State, going to the Breakers. Jermaine McDaniel, defensive end for North Carolina A&T, heading to the Generals. DeMontre Jacobs, offensive tackle, getting signed up on the Stars. And Grant Dubois, or Dubois, I apologize, wide receiver heading to the championship Birmingham Stallions, or at least the rights. The teams have the rights to those players if they so choose to explore the avenue in the USFL. Like I said, a little bit different, a little bit more forward thinking, hedging your bets on the future here for these different coaches. But realistically, if you're planning on sticking around 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, sooner or later, some of these picks that don't come this year are going to pay dividends in the future. I have a feeling about it. A guarantee.
Some are risk, some are reward you'll get eventually. One of them, like in the 7th round, that I am curious if the Stallions will even get a chance to execute on that pick is indeed Dubois. NFL Combine invitee, Reese Senior Bowl, 2nd team All Conference USA nod, honorable mention All Conference USA in the previous year. So guy's got plenty of accolades and has gotten most likely plenty of attention. I don't know if he would be I don't know if he'd be available, but that's one. I think for Stallions, that's one of the few that they've really kind of, I would say, have more said, I would love to have him if he is happening.
Yeah. So I'm being told in the chat here, could be pronounced Dubose. So now we have a third pronunciation in the mix. So we'll do our best here. Westish, I think is his name. He said the Breakers just had a Browns level draft.
Man,
that's mean. Or is that a good thing now? I don't know.
Well, okay. I think if you're Browns generally equates to
like a Lions level draft. Yeah,
usually it does. I mean, I don't know, like going through the draft, my thing with their draft is, and I think this is where he's coming up with it, is you're talking about guys, some of these guys, I don't know how many will be really available. And that's the challenge of a draft at this level is you're trying to find that middle ground of he's good, but would he take the chance? He take the chance in the NFL, or will he come to my league? So like guys, like I said, we talk like Dante Still. Dude's first team All Big 12. That'd be great. I don't know if he's here. Tyler Scott, again, 4.29 speed. I don't know if he's here.
Yeah, that one's
You
going
know
to be
what
a
I'm
stretch.
saying?
It's going to be a stretch.
Yeah, I would say Flip and company are definitely taking some shots
Mhm.
and are banking on on something that they might land on, at least those two, in my opinion, at least.
For sure. Now I'm getting another one from Kellen Johnson in the chat saying it's Dubois. So I think that was my first attempt. So
That
I'm
was your
feeling
first
pretty.
attempt.
Whew, sign me up. Getting better day by day. Hey, here's a real thing. Since we're in between rounds here, hey, do you guys want to support us, help us keep doing these podcasts, keep running the website? If you look down below, we got a little merchandise store. There's USFL Podcast hats. We have spring stock hats. We got spring stock shirts. If you plan on coming to the event, you might want to order them now so you get them beforehand. But this, I felt like I'll mention it here. No proceeds off of this next one. Any of the Ducky merchandise in there, it's a joke. It's a meme online. We're here to solve world hunger, but today it's no joke. If you buy any of that Ducky merch, whether it's a hat, it's a shirt, it's a long sleeve, it's all going directly to Feeding America, the charity that is, not like in jest. We're not just going to go take some of the money and go feed people. We're giving it directly to the charity Feeding America to help solve world hunger. And I mean, hey, we're doing our part. You can help us do your part. Links down below over to the shop. And like I said, those are going directly to charity. Probably going to be a limited thing. If I were to wager, we'll probably take them down after spring stock. Maybe if we're nice, we'll keep them up till the end of the season. At the end of the day, we want to sell as many because we want as much money to go to Feeding America. So sign us up, sign you up. But like I said, if you do buy one of those USFL Podcast hats, shirts, whatever it might be, all of that goes back into the show. Zach and I, we got day jobs, baby, but we want to make these shows as good as possible. We got to travel there. We got to rent equipment. And so every purchase, every little thing goes, it goes a long way. You'd be surprised. So sign everyone up. Noah in the chat, he already got one. It sounds like of the Ducky hats.
Nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Noah, because I might have it wrong. Between the Goalposts, I believe is his website. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, and I'll make sure to correct the record, but I think that's what it is. So again, support the USFL community or just the Spring League community in general. Hey,
that right there. I would say Spring League community in general. I like that. I like that one,
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So whoa. Hold on here. Did they just, maybe there was a typo here because I saw the Stars put out a pic.
Interesting.
From 7 seconds ago, but I think it's just maybe a spelling correction on Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
That's why I couldn't.
I was wondering why it was Ramirez. I've never heard Ramirez. It would have been interesting because they put Ramirez in the updated, round pick. So, yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Well, thank you guys. I'm going to update my draft tracker.
They threw a curvebeball for you for the pronunciation.
Yeah. So here we go. Okay. Hey, feeling good though. 3 rounds to go, right? 8, 9, 10. Yep. 3 rounds to go. I anticipate these picks to start rolling in any minute. And as you've seen, once they start, they're usually pretty quick coming through the line. With about 8 minutes since the round recap was put up on social media. It seems to be the cadence that generally about 10 minutes after that is when the picks start coming in. So I would say we're probably a minute, 2 minutes from once we start seeing the next, the 8th round picks coming in.
Not too far off.
Not too far off at all. I mean, we're rocking and rolling here. I mean, you're going to be able to get some rest soon, which I'm sure you're excited about. I actually got to get a little bit more work done.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some grub after this, honestly. That's my next thing. I don't know what I'm doing for a late lunch, but I'm definitely having something before I go to sleep.
Yeah, it's good that it's funny you mentioned that. I need to eat too. I have not eaten today. I'm a hungry boy. No, you've been around long, not around, but you've been up longer.
I've been around longer.
Yeah. I've been around.
I'm actually older than you.
So. Yeah. I wish it was the other way around, Zach. I'll tell you, shit. Oh, well, there we go. Now. I feel like we're long enough out from the beginning of the video that if I said the S word, that YouTube's going to be fine with it. But I don't make it a habit of swearing on here. I apologize.
Hey, now. Maria. So Panthers are on the clock. Just as an update for those that are maybe tuning in late. Panthers start every top of the round, so we're just waiting on the beginning of the 8th round to kick things off. And also, again, just as a reminder, it's a collegiate draft. You are drafting rights for players. Every draft is technically a draft for rights, first off.
Sure.
But in the USFL's sake, keep in mind, this is much more of we have drafted your rights. If you are wanting to come to the USFL, we are very much ready and able to take you in and put you on a roster that is wanting your talents. So that is what we're looking at, which, again, makes the thing very fascinating for trying to decipher the game plans these teams have for building up rosters or future proofing rosters in a way, if they are for attempts, that is.
Yeah. This is definitely, I think the number that we were quoted was maybe around 3% of the draft pool is going to be selected. Because we talked about there's a lot of guys in the draft pool. And then when you look at the guys getting picked, the fact that they don't count against the training camp rosters, I think tells you probably a lot of what you need to know. We'll see some of these guys come through, but by far, probably not. I don't want to say probably not a majority, but maybe not a majority. I mean, this is going to be for down the line. But again, there's a lot of guys out there looking for opportunities. So let's say maybe one of the picks didn't work out. Maybe he was one of those guys that was on the edge of getting picked. He does get picked by the NFL. Well, the USFL's in good hands because they still have hub football. They're still signing free agents like left and right. You know what I mean? And so a lot of these teams, and I mean, to that point too, some of these teams are getting a good chunk of their roster returning, right? We talked about last week with Case Cook is coming back. The Stars are making a good dent in the roster of guys coming back. You have Reggie Corbin up in Michigan. The Stallions have a good chunk of guys coming. So, I mean, realistically, that's going to do them a lot of favors, having those guys that already know the playbook. They know the coach. Maybe not in your instance. Things might change a little bit, but I don't see it changing too drastically.
We have our next pick.
All right. Let me give it a refresh here and pull this up here.
Yes, sir. I'll give you the rundown. It is Andrew Farmer II from Lane College.
There we go.
Defensive end.
And it looks like we might even have a Mahler's pick in too, if you want to pull that one.
Oh, I think we're getting into the rhythm now. It's They just are dropping them left and right is what. Yes, they do. Receiver CJ Turner from Southeastern Louisiana being picked up. That's not the first Southeastern Louisiana guy we've seen either in this draft so far.
I can't wait to analyze this and see where there's duplicates. Like we talked about Michigan State. There's a couple guys there. Incarnate Word. There's a couple guys there. I know, I'm pretty sure at least the Maulers picked up both the guys from Incarnate Word, but I'm curious to see if that's a similar strat that we're seeing from some of the other coaches where you brought up receiver and quarterback duo, right? Those types of things. I mean, shoot, man. See, I almost did it again. Shoot. Those things help. You might not think, I think most people know that helps here.
We got another tight end off the board for your gamblers. Brady Russell from Colorado.
All right. And man, we are flying here. So we also have here for the Showboats wide receiver, Trey Stropeshire, wide receiver out of UAB. They stole one of Skip's guys.
Oh no, Skip's angry.
Yeah.
I can hear him and Zach Potter fuming.
Yeah.
That was my pick.
What are you doing? No, you know the rules here, buddy. Moving on to the Breakers, I just like the name alone. Jake Bobo from UCLA, wide receiver, heading to the Breakers. And I think that catches us up here. So we're, again, coming in quick, fast, and furious. No holding back here, bringing us down to the wire. Because after this, man, 2 short rounds to go. Like I said, probably a quick little 5-10 minute break in between rounds. But soon here, probably within the next 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to know all the guys that have a potential of making a spot in, not making a spot, but showing up in the new in the USFL this next year. Jeez, I'm not used to recording on a Tuesday afternoon. Apparently,
I know it's not. It's so unusual for us.
Yeah,
I gotta say, because I've seen a few guys bring Jake Bobo up in the chat, and look, it's not every day you see. First off, 6'5" receiver, so the length right there is instant there. Leading receiver for UCLA as well.
We have our first punter in the draft. going to the Generals.
Oh, wait a minute.
This will make Noah happy because he likes writing about the kickers and the specialists there. Adam Korzak out of Rutgers picked his rights going to the New Jersey Generals.
Okay.
Which now puts the Stars on the clock, followed by the Stallions to wrap up the round here. Still waiting on that pick, but we are seeing, this was one that I wasn't sure if we would see in the draft. But we did get a punter. I'm sure maybe we'll see a kicker here as well. But we have the Stars coming in.
All the linemen. It doesn't matter. That's all Andrus wants. Defensive lineman Trey Botts from Colorado State Pueblo.
Sign him. I mean, he's got a mission. He's on a mission. He knows what he wants.
Bart saw last year how much Cookus got beaten up, and he said, not again.
Nope. Not
We're
this
not
time.
doing this again.
Well, I mean, seriously, you want to win. You want to win the championship. You are so close.
Mm-hmm.
Build those reinforcements.
And to be fair, like you look at, for example, look at Philadelphia's roster. They just picked up Corey Coleman, mind you, and they got Jordan Sewell, and they got Chris Roll, and they got Devontae Overton. They are fine at that position. Bug Howard, they are fine at that specialty players. So what's the next logical step? And also they're good at secondary players too and linebacking core. What's the next step? Reinforcing the front lines.
100%. Yep.
Which was their weakest problem last year, was the front lines, internal D line and the front five. Yeah, sounds about right. But it's kind of crazy. You see that draft, and you're just like, just all linemen. There's 2 more picks, but why am I thinking that Bart's going to just keep going? He's just going to end.
He knows what he wants. And you know what? I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at a man that knows what he wants out of his draft.
As a former lineman, as a former center, I have mad respect. It's uncanny to me to see this many go in one draft this way. That's the only thing.
Right. Yeah. I was curious to see so many early, and then it just kept going. Right. Okay. Like I said, can't be mad at a man that knows what he wants here. Getting what and you know what? He knows what he needs. Keeping his team and his quarterback healthy. And that's one way that's going to help him out doing that and maybe be the difference in getting across the line for that championship here. I believe I saw that the Stallions pick may have been in, but then that would leave, let's see. We got the Stars. It is, yeah. That's right. Yep. Let's pull this up real quick.
They're also stacking up on linemen. Again.
Oh yeah. So we have Mark Evans, the second out of Arkansas Pine Bluff, offensive lineman. You know, Zach, I'm going to tell you, and this is how dumb I am. I almost said Arkansas. I don't know why. I know how to say Arkansas, and this is on me. I like to say things wrong sometimes, and Arkansas is one of them. But it makes me look really stupid at work sometimes. Like, pretty dumb. Like if I've said Arkansas at work.
Bless your soul, man. I know the names. I'm glad you caught yourself. Bless your soul.
That one would have been hard to come back from. I'm not gonna lie.
Chad will never let you live it down. All the new subs we got, they'll be like Arkansas.
Again, no curtains. I said it right, but I'm not afraid to admit what could have been. So now that takes us there to the end of the 8th round. 2 rounds left, 9 and 10. And now we're at that point where, the Generals get 2 picks in that last round.
Yep.
If I were the Generals, if I were them, you got that last pick. You probably picked up the people that you think that you have a shot of getting, or the guys that you want, or the types of guys that you want either now or in the future. Put that Stetson Bennett in. I'm just saying, why not? Why not?
I'm telling you, we got the chat wanting him now. Even
last
more so
round,
too.
Get it in. Why not? What if? I mean, think if you're the coach, you put it in. Somehow he doesn't go to the NFL. He's on your team next year. How much of a genius are you going to look like?
Hey,
is it going to be that Paxton Lynch pick? That last pick in the draft last year, right? Wasn't that Paxton? Oh no, that was Shea Patterson. No, it was Paxton.
That was Paxton.
It was Paxton. Yeah. Coming in because he just came out of the CFL. They had him available right there at the end.
Thank you again, Paxton, for getting me first pick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, never mind. I won't say it.
No, it's funny. I'm more joking. Joking.
Well, he did get you a win. He got you one of those wins.
No, that's what I'm saying. He got us the biggest win of all.
Yeah.
That first overall pick. I'm giving him thanks legitimately. Let's see here. Just because I wanted to hit on Mark Evans because of the borderline Arkansas mishap. He is a good talent. The first team all SWAC 2020. Also preseason all SWAC as well. Good contributor. So they're getting solid talent from Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oh boy, at least I didn't do it, but I will joke about doing it. So let's see here. So we have 2 more rounds. Let's pull up the round recap here. Let me just pull it up on the screen here so everybody can see an overview of the 8th round. So we have the Panthers pulling in Andrew Farmer II, defensive end from Lane College. Muller's pulling in CJ Turner, wide receiver from Southeast Louisiana. Gamblers all in 12-0, baby. Brady Russell, tight end, Colorado. Showboats, Trey Shropshire, wide receiver out of UAB, making the folks over at the Stallions a little antsy, I'm sure. Breakers, Jake Bobo, wide receiver out of UCLA. Punter, first and only punter so far, going to the Generals, Adam Kozak out of Rutgers. Defensive line, Trey Botts. Like we said, the Philly people know what they're looking for out of Colorado State Pueblo. And wrapping things up, Mark Evans II, guard out of Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Oh my God.
See, I threw it in there for you guys.
No. Oh, no.
See, this is what does me in, though, Zach, is I do that as tongue-in-cheek, as a joke. There and now, it's funny, the ref did a thing. But then it's like a few weeks from now when I'm literally looking at that word and my first thought is Arkansas and I'm on like a board meeting or something with work and they're like, who hired this guy? He doesn't know what. I almost said it again. Arkansas. See, I got to stop doing these things.
I'm taking back control. I got a few players to hire.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to do this for your sanity. All right. So I wanted to touch on first off CJ Turner, who we talked about, of course, meeting back up with his former quarterback, of course, over at Incarnate Word. But dude also has the accolades to back up as well. All Southland Conference first team and also all Louisiana first team to back things up. And then Brady Russell. So I want to touch on a gambler's guy for you. So this is fascinating for his story for his 2022 season here. He was a preseason watch list for both the John Mackey Award, so top tight end in the country. Pretty big deal for that if you're at the position, but also the Burlsworth Trophy, which I didn't. Some of these trophies I'm learning at the end here, or as I go. Most outstanding player to start as a walk-on.
Very nice. You know what? That's something that you're probably looking for as a coach building a relatively young team. Right? Is somebody that's able to walk on, adapt quickly, learn the playbook, learn the plays, learn the routes, get into
chip on the shoulder is how I like it too.
Yeah, 100%. So far, I'm pretty impressed with the guys that we're seeing, and honestly, there's a good amount of guys that I could see jumping into this. I mean, first and foremost, maybe it is what it is. Maybe it's just for the heck of it, but we've already seen team social media pages highlight a few players, whereas they're not highlighting every player, right? They're announcing all the players, but we saw the Generals, we saw the Panthers, and I think maybe even the Gamblers or the Breakers got in the mix, showing a couple highlight packages on some of the guys that they picked up. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but that would lead me to believe that maybe they're a little bit hopeful that we'll see them on the team this year. We did at least see one of the players drafted saying, hey, thanks for the opportunity, which kind of leads me to believe that he's ready to jump on board, and that was for the Maulers. So, I am even more excited now for training camp just to see what the final verdict is here, where everybody lands, what guys are coming. And more importantly, now when I'm watching the NFL, when some of these guys get picked up, I'm going to be keeping an eye on him, knowing, hey, you know what? A couple of years from now, this guy might end up in the Generals. Because I don't know if there's any time limits on this, but let's just say, okay, Zach, I'm going to say something crazy that probably won't happen, but could happen.
Okay.
Let's say a guy goes, one of these guys that gets picked right now, he goes to the NFL. He has a solid career, like a good 5-7 year career there.
Okay.
But he still wants to play. And maybe it's time for him. Maybe the team he was on, the Browns, they have a younger guy that they're ready to move on to. But this guy wants to play still. Well, now he comes to the USFL, still has a little bit of gas in the tank. Well, I'm still under the assumption that his rights would still belong to, let's say, the Generals. So, again, maybe it's somebody that goes and has a long career. We've already seen guys move from the NFL to spring leagues. We've already talked about what is not, I don't know why I always want to say Antonio Brown, but even in fan-controlled football, we had...
You're talking Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens, thank you. He jumped over to fan-controlled football. Now, again, maybe that's a little bit different, and maybe there's some other reasons for that, but you know what? Not out of the realm of reality, if you ask me here. I don't know. Thoughts on that approach? It could happen, right? Again, if you come to the USFL, then the team has your rights. Then why the hell not, right?
Well, I mean, look, the rights will last. So that's how I've always understood draft rights. Is you can, as long as the team wants to execute them and bring you in, that's how it would go.
Right.
I guess that's the aspect. If you're talking that scenario, is depending on if someone would want to bring you in at that stage is the only thing. But
right.
It's not crazy. I mean, it's just, I think it'd be harder to see because as you can see with like this draft and, how they're signing, they want younger guys, they want guys that are the diamond in the rough,
sure,
as they state. If you can get the diamond in the rough, I mean, you can look for high profile guys too. I mean, look, Bo Scarborough came in, he'd been only a few years in the NFL. Dude had lost some camp opportunities, came in last year and made his impact. And now he's back to being, a name that people remember right now because of his time with the USFL. So, there's avenues back. That's the other angle you can have. It's just, like I said, I think the young angle is what they're trying. The farther we go into this, the more we're going to see that as it gets ingrained, and also to advertise to college grads or folks coming out like, hey, you can come play pro ball and show your skills off.
I think we might have some more. No, maybe not. More picks. Let's just see. It should be about that time. We're about 10 minutes out from when they posted the recap thing. So generally, that's where we're falling here. 2 rounds left, right? We have the 9th and the 10th round. The Generals have that extra pick in the 10th round, mainly because they lost the pick in the first round. Just an oversight, not a huge deal, but could give them an interesting opportunity to take a gamble, do something a little bit different. I mean, the last pick in the draft is almost as interesting as the first pick in the draft sometimes, because now you know who everybody is not going to pick, right? Anybody, you're safe with anybody you want there, or if, there's somebody that's still there and you want to execute that pick, now's the time you got to do it, right?
Time to roll the dice, as they say.
But let's see here. It seems like once we rip the Band-Aid, that's when we get the slow. It is fast and furious, and I think we have it in here.
Waterfall of picks.
I think we have it in here. So let me pull up the overlay here. We have an offensive lineman going to the Panthers, Chim Okafor or Okorafor. Zach, help me out here.
Chim Okorafor is.
Thank you. How about the school? Can you get that one for me?
Benedictine.
Benedictine.
It's one of the two. I've heard it's pronounced both ways.
There we go. Yeah, I knew I was going to fail on that one if I tried. I think we might even have a second pick in here. Oh, a second and a third pick, if you will.
I bet. If it, like you said, if they got the one, they're gonna start piling them on now.
Yep. So let's take a look here at the Maulers. We have Jacob Slade out of Michigan State, defensive lineman. And the Gamblers coming in with Jason Taylor II, another Oklahoma State on this one coming through. Safety, though.
Yeah, now we're talking Bedlam.
Yeah. So getting a good little mix here, fast and furious. So we'll have to keep an eye on these as they come through here. I thought we were doing so well. They were giving me such easy names for the first half of the draft, but there's only been a couple that I've stumbled upon. And to me, I'm feeling pretty good about that.
The next one I'm going to stumble on because the showboats have theirs in.
Okay, what do we got here?
It's offensive lineman Silas, and I'm going to butcher this, probably. Dzansi is how I'm pronouncing.
Let me.
Is what I believe is the pronunciation.
Take a look here 1 second. I'm just updating the trusty USFL Newsroom Draft Tracker. So again, if you want this in written form, you can go check that out as well. But let's see. This is a perfect name for Fat Tuesday, though, Zach. Because it is Mardi Gras. Yeah, this feels like it's a Polish name, if you ask me. And Fat Tuesday is a Polish thing.
I
also
see.
Mardi Gras. Get your punchki.
I've had my patchki already.
Paluski, I would say. Paluski. Because once you get into those CZ combos, anything's on the board. Because think of a punchki. So
right.
Paluchki. I feel like I should know that one better growing. I'm a Polish boy myself. Right. Raychuk. I mean, come on.
Offensive lineman out of Illinois for the Breakers.
Let me get that.
Let's see here.
So
check on the stars. And they have, Destin Mack from Citadel, cornerback.
Oh, okay. Get these picks in here before I fall too behind on the draft tracker here.
Save anything. I'll keep on checking on. The Stallions will get theirs in any second now, methinks.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. It should be, I would assume, any minute here. Any second, really.
Bob Clift has the pronunciation as Palchevsky.
Okay. Sign me up. I was pretty off. I'm not going to lie.
And there we go. B.J. Thompson, defensive end from Stephen F. Austin.
All right. So that brings us to a close on the 9th round. One more round to rule them all.
Very, very lineman-heavy draft round for the 9th round.
All right, so here's what I want, guys. One's in the chat if Stetson Bennett is coming up. Two's in the chat if he's not happening. That's what I want to know. Drop them in the chat. Let us know.
Man.
Is it happening? Is it not happening? And I'm curious which think he's going to and why it's the Gamblers.
Oh, my God.
Come on, guys. I know you're with me. All in.
Dude, they do that. I will crack up. But only because it's just how it got predicted.
Yeah.
Look, if I were to take a swing, watch Bart Andrus pick a QB.
After all this, yeah.
After all this,
yeah. And that would be
all these choices, which to reconfirm, actually, it's just funny. It's his first non-lineman that he picked was Destin Mack. So not crazy if he picks something other than a lineman here. He has 8 other rounds and he had interior guys. I'm just saying.
I mean, he would look like a genius, though. Again, let's say we get to the season. Stetson Bennett is on with his team, and he picked him up in the last round. What if he would be? I'm telling you, one pick is enough to just throw it in there. Let's just see. Come on, Gamblers. I need to start DMing some folks. We got... Get out of my DMs, ref. Stop telling me what to do, ref. We know you're all in, ref, but trust us, we're the coaches. We know what to do, ref. But I'm doing it anyway. I don't care.
Stetson or we riot.
Guys think I'm joking. We're going to town here. Even though if we're on a delay, they're probably like, shut up, our pick's already in. But I got to get it. I had to get that message out just in case. Just in case.
Oh, man. I would say after this final round, I'm definitely going to ask the chat who has the best, who's had the overall best draft in their eyes. I would do it now. I mean, you can answer if you want, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Think about it. Think about it.
Round. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I love Wes Dish's response because I just love Stetson Bennett 8. For some reason, Stetson Bennett, like dude, he's like 34 years old. Or like seeing that Stetson Bennett's 300 years old.
I'll take them. I don't care. But since we're here, man, there's a lot of twos in the chat.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, we're getting some mixes of ones in there.
I've seen some ones. There's some confidence.
See, the ones, no. All in. All in, baby. All in.
They are all in.
Let's have some fun.
They're betting
here,
on
folks.
red.
One more round to go. Here's the deal, though. Since we're here, a little bit of a break just to tell you a couple things. One, social media at USFL Podcast. Make sure you're following us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. Since we're over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, but also click the bell. It builds morale. And I'm telling you, today's the day. Here's your draft. Maybe you need a little morale. Maybe you want a little kick in the butt to get ready for the season 2. That's a good way to do it. And plus, it'll also tell you every time we go live and when we drop new videos. Like I mentioned, we have a big interview coming up on tickets and ticket sales with the guy leading the charge on that front. So he's going to be able to answer everything you want to know. Mm-hmm. But the big deal, April 15th, Spring Stock live. April 15th, starting at noon Central. Live from Casey's Sports Bar, formerly Todd English Pub, across the street in the Westin, across the street from Protective Stadium. We're getting live from 12 to 4 in person and online. So if you can't make it, get signed up. Meet us over here on YouTube. That's where the notification comes involved. We're going to have good times, good guests, and giveaways, whether you're online or in person. But stick around if you're in Birmingham, because we're going to have a watch party for the early game. Then we're heading across the street to Protective. But then, hey, one day away, we're getting grudgy, baby. The grudge game over in Memphis, Tennessee. Maybe not a league grudge, but a grudge between us, Zachy Boy and I. Zach, I'm going to have to wipe some tears off his cheek once again. Sorry, I didn't mean to tell your secret from last year when the Gamblers do it again. Now, hopefully it's just not a repeat of last year where we win the first game and then lose in the fourth quarter of the rest of the games. Man. But whatever, we're going to get down there. And we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we hope you join us. We hope you get live. But, hey, that's not it. Week 3, we're heading up to Motown, Motor City, where I'm from the Motor City meetup, going to Ford Field to go see the first set of games there. And, of course, Summer Stock, last game of the year, the championship in Canton, Ohio. Mark your calendars, mark them good, and let's have some fun for USFL Season 2 kicking off April 15th.
It's going to be a great season. I'm excited for having – another year with this show and more people along for the ride. I'm glad people are tuning in for this draft coverage again. You guys rock, really, without a doubt. I mean, Jesus, we're almost at 3,000 followers. I didn't think we'd be hitting that at this point right now, but like that's incredible. So
yeah, you guys,
thank you guys.
The MVPs of the season. I'm not going to lie. And here's the thing. The good news about us almost hitting 3,000 is once we hit that, then we only have 2,000 to go on our road to 5,000, our 5K giveaway. Once we hit to that 5,000, if you're a subscriber, if you're commenting on these videos, you're liking them, you're doing all that stuff, well, you're entered. Every like, every comment, not every subscription, but your one subscription, that counts as another entry into an authentic USFL jersey from the USFL shop, customized with your name or your favorite player. So let's get signed up on that as well. I mean, we're getting close, and I have a feeling we're going to get that during this season. Call it a hunch, call it an inkling. I'm feeling pretty good about that, especially with the recap episodes. People are going to love that.
Andrew Squara, who is one of the assistant equipment managers, that I actually a great interview with him, by the way. Shout out to you, sir. He's in the chat. Can I be part of the Motor City meetup? Yeah, hell yeah, you can, man.
Yes, please.
Come on. You have a spot. You don't even got to ask me. We'd say come on down. I'll give you the address of where we're at in the tailgating sections. We'll give you that for sure. You're very welcome to come on by.
Please do. And again, special guest Grandma Kyleman is going to be there as well.
Grandma Kyleman, man, I'm telling you, she is hyped. She is ready to watch the Panthers win the grudge game and then get a home opener on April 30th.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I can convince some of my family to head down that way. I don't know. They're over in Illinois, and I'm not sure if they want to make the trek. But I'll tell you this. Well, one, Zach, I have Airbnbs we have everything set up for like spring stock. I'm going old school here, Zach. I'm going to fly into Michigan with a backpack with like 2 shirts, a couple pairs of underwear, some socks, and some shorts. Like, that's it. No hotel, no rental car. And I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how, but I will. I know a couple people that live out there. One of them has like 5 kids, so I don't know if he has any room at his house. The other one I know, he's got twins, so I don't know if he's got any room. But the answer's always yes. I always figure it out. Worst case, I'll sleep on the floor of Buddy's Pizza. I don't care. Coney Island, you're 24 hours. Give me a coffee and a cigarette. I'll be in the corner like the old days.
Buddies, you mind if I work for a few hours? I'll pay. That'll pay my night. I can make some deep dish.
Yeah, I got some time to kill. I could clean a mean dish, boys. Let's do this. So we should be probably about 3 minutes out from when the next round starts rolling in. If everything kind of goes as it has been throughout the day.
Is now starting.
Oh, here we go. Wow, and it's coming fast and furious too, because I see 2 picks in. So let me get adjusted here.
Eastern Michigan has to be thrilled to see all these people because they are getting another pick.
Mm-hmm.
City So, Eastern Michigan offensive lineman rounds out the final Panthers pick for their collegiate draft for this 10. Remember, the Generals get 2, so we're going to go 6 and 10. Keep that in mind as well, folks. Let's see the Maulers. I imagine theirs is already dropped.
Yep, we got what do we have?
Punter. 2 punters.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Ethan Evans from Wingate. I don't believe I have ever heard of that school before. I am definitely going to have to look. I'm looking that one up for sure once we get caught up for the rest of these. Let's see here. Houston. Going to the Gamblers here. Yep. Safe. Oh, wait. No, that one was already announced. I'm not going to re-announce that Oklahoma State pick. Although, hey, nice pick.
Nice pick sign us up. Sign us up. Moving through the list here. Let's see who else we have coming up. Again, Fast and Furious. Now, we'll see. Maybe the Generals will take their sweet time on that last pick just to keep the
just
suspense.
Hold on.
Just the suspense going. Everybody, where is it? Where is it? And that's when it drops.
Hold.
That's when the Stetson Bennett comes through.
Hold the line.
Let's see.
Yeah, Ethan Evans. I say while I'm waiting for the Gamblers, let me look up Ethan Evans Wingate, which I'm actually going to look up Wingate.
Yeah, I'm curious where that's located at.
Wingate University in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Sign him up.
There you go. Wingate University. Looks like the Bulldogs. Let's see. Evans was a punter for them. 10 games. Had 56 punts for a total of 2,257 yards and an average 40.3 yards per punt with a long of 57.
Oh, very nice. Hey, you can't be mad at that. And I'm seeing in the chats probably saying solid, smaller school. Wingate is a solid program for a small school. Somebody saying Herschel Walker to the Generals. Well, wouldn't that be a thing?
I'm coming back, boys.
Yeah. Can't stop me now. Couldn't. Never mind. I'm going to stay out of politics. We'll just leave it at that.
It didn't have to be politics, but he made it politics. Here we go. Segue, your final pick. I'll let you read this one because
Colby Reeder out of Iowa State, linebacker. I'll take it. Again, it's a position that I think we need to fill here. Coming in hot and heavy, strong for that last pick. Iowa State, another formidable program as well, so no slouches on that angle. So would love to have him join the team. We'll have to see, though. Now this is actually going to be very interesting for me to watch the NFL draft. I mean, I think a lot of people probably watch the beginning rounds of the NFL. There's, the diehards, I think like you and me, Zach, that probably watch like every round of the NFL draft on the most part. But even more so this year, I'm going to have this list next to the list. And maybe we'll do a quick write-up on guys that were drafted by the USFL that were eventually drafted by the NFL, what's open, what's not. So, again, another reason to be checking out USFL Newsroom.
Fascinating discussion right there. Yeah, that'll be something to keep an eye. Because, you'll have these lists, so you'll be wanting to – I would say if your eyeball is glued to see do they get picked up in the draft, do they get picked up as an undrafted free agent?
Right.
If they're available, do you then say, hey, mid-season, that's the guy that could sneak in?
Right.
Let's see. Colby Reeder, by the way, honorable all Big 12 selection at linebacker.
Sign him up.
And it's funny, he was a transfer. This is promising too. FCS level, Delaware is one of the more prominent programs in the country for that. for their level of football. So he transferred from Delaware, played a year at Iowa State, got the honorable mention at that position, as well as Defensive Newcomer of the Year for coach's vote for it. And to boot, he's a Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll.
So that puts what? So we have the Showboats, Coach Haley and team taking their time. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the Bennett pick. Again, Willis and Bennett.
I got it.
Okay, what do we got here?
Antonio Fletcher from Southern Illinois, the Salukis
all right.
safety.
Pull this one up for the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have, I used to have 2 monitors hooked up to my computer, and I stopped because it was just a pain in the ass. I have an ultra wide now, but doing this, I need to hook up the other monitor because I got the screen I'm sharing, the screen I'm editing for the draft tracker on Newsroom.
Right.
I have OBS in the center. I have the chat over here. I have your Skype video over here. Like, I got Discord in the back, which I've not even been able to chat in.
Oh, geez.
I have too much. I need to have this a little bit more organized for the next time we do this. But
yeah, I got the dual monitor, so I am golden right now. My Samsungs doing great. Breakers got their final pick in, by the way. Tyler Baker-Williams, cornerback from NC State.
Pull that one up here. 1 second here. Whoa. That's me, guys. I'm just making mistakes on my end to make it a big deal about it. Oh, I can't even type either now. Now we're getting to the end of it. I'll say this. This is better. Remember last time I was drinking, and there was a discernible difference, I think, once I started. So
man.
We're in much better hands this year. Responsible ref is in the house.
Responsible ref.
Looks like we have a Stars pick in as well. And the Generals and the Stars. Man, we're coming in quick here. So the Generals, I'll take Generals if you want to take the Stars.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have Nick Zichino, safety. Long snapper. Why is my brain broken today, Zach?
Slow down.
From Purdue, coming over to the Generals. First long snapper of the day. Probably the only one, to be honest with you. We'll have to see.
Boiler up. There we go. And then for the Stars, you got their last pick of the day, Dre Terry from Alabama A&M, linebacker.
Oh, did I? Oh, no, we got the Breakers pick, right? You said that one.
Yeah,
already.
We got the Breakers pick.
Yep. Perfect. Just making sure we're not leaving anyone out.
We got the Stallions, who actually theirs just dropped as well. And I'm telling you, man, they're going with the UAB products. They've got another one. Starling Thomas, UAB, defensive back.
Let's see. So that means what? We have 1 pick left. This is the Generals' last pick. We'll see, guys.
This is essentially the Generals' version of Mr. Irrelevant. This is the USFL's version of Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Is what we're getting here.
Or the most relevant pick of the draft. We'll find out.
That too. You never know.
This could be that Stetson sneaky pick.
I swear.
If it is, God, Stars fans will be pissed that the Generals got this. I feel like it. Now,
after they picked up Adrian Martinez, it'd be funny they pick him another quarterback.
Right. Which I would love to see Martinez come in. The fact that they dropped a couple little highlights of him makes me hopeful that there's at least a possibility. We'll have to see how the the NFL draft rolls out and all that. But it's like what was that? Step Brothers or one of those?
Oh yeah.
You saying there's a chance?
Oh, that's dumber. That's Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I don't know my movies.
I barely do, my friend. I that one is like one of the few. Chat, we gotta all get into a prayer circle. Stetson Bennett, channel the Stetson Bennett energy. Yeah. Come on, New Jersey.
S is in the chat, folks. S is in the chat. S is for Stetson.
Come on, New Jersey.
Let's make
Mike,
it happen, boys.
Pull the trigger.
Shock the world. Why not?
Billy Devaney, pull the trigger, my guy.
Let's see what we got here. It's still they're building the suspense.
Yeah, say they're chilling on it. Nope, never mind. I misread that. Wrong. Went too far down. Nope, still not yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, either way, Fun draft. I mean, we're essentially at the end of it. We have one pick left. I think now, unless the Stetson pick comes through, I think everybody's safe to make their overall assumptions of who won the draft. And again, keep throwing the S's in the chat because I see everyone's going wild on that one in the background.
Yes, all the S's.
We're going to will it into reality.
Rapid fire.
S's all around. Oh, I got to do it the other way. There we go. For the chat. S's.
Hang on, I'll make sure I do it.
There we go. There we go. S is up. We're rocking and rolling.
I'm telling you, they're holding out. They're holding out. They aren't showing that pick yet.
They know what they're doing. I'm telling you, maybe it's in my blood. I feel something sneaky coming.
Come on now.
Breathe in, breathe out. S is in the chat, baby. Don't let your memes be dreams. We're willing this into reality. Come on.
I'm begging.
God, if
Give
it
it
happens,
to me.
I'm going to feel like Nostradamus over here. I'll tell you what. I'll be sad that the gamblers didn't go all in on it, but I'll be happy to see somebody took the risk. Let's see. Maybe that's what it is. They're on the phone with them right now.
I swear to God. Stetson, we beg you. Come on, man.
You know, we're gonna have to get Angelo's take on all this when we join up with him later this week on USFL Today. At least the draft and how he thinks the Generals picks were navigating around maybe a little minor hiccup in the order, but overall I think they came out good. They came out on top. They came out with who they wanted. But I'm very, very, the time here. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there's a 5-minute break between this and that last pick, but I would doubt it, right? You would think they would just roll it in.
Could you imagine?
Keeping the suspense going.
Here's my question challenge now. Which happens first? We cross the 3,000 sub threshold, or the Generals put in this last pick? Because we're 11 subs away from hitting 3,000.
Well, hey, then you guys know the drill. Beyond hitting S in the chat, beyond hitting the like button, because that helps people see us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell. It builds morale. It lets you know when we're live, when we drop new videos. And like I said, once we hit 5,000 subscribers, you could be the lucky winner of an authentic USFL jersey. And no, it's not our pick. It's not our pick yet. The gamblers dropping their recap. Mahler's dropping their recap.
Watch what happens, or it'll be like Mike Riley and Billy Devaney forgot that they had a
Yeah, they're gone. They're getting sandwiches right now. They're out of here.
What do you mean we have a pick?
Yeah.
I thought we lost it. Oh, you put it at the end?
Well, maybe they'll put it in their recap. Maybe that's what they'll do. Because right now, all the teams are putting out all 10 of their picks and little, individual graphics. So maybe that's when we'll get the Generals one here. We'll just have to wait with anticipation. Keep throwing those S's in there, boys, because
I know, right?
Every S
I'll
counts.
throw in with my own mod account some S's for you.
There you go. Actually, yeah, let me throw that one in there too. Why not? Oh,
Yes.
I put a D in there. Man, not only can I not talk, I can't even type.
What have you done?
Oh, I jinxed it.
And the pick's in. It's not Stenson. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We failed. The gods were not with us today.
Still a solid pick, though. We have Ray Estes, defensive back coming out of Grambling State. Another college that produces some entertaining players. Another maybe doesn't get the recognition it needs. I don't know. Maybe it does. Do people talk about Grambling State anymore?
Yeah, Grambling's respectable.
Okay, I thought so.
Program.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it, folks. We made it to the end. No Stetson Bennett.
Dang,
it is what it is. But I was hoping, especially with the way they were really drawing that out. I said, oh, boy, are we really? Is my S talking going to come to reality? Is this going to happen now?
Oh, my gosh.
But anyway, solid draft.
Yeah, apparently the S's were for spam, because thank you, Spambot, for showing up at the very end.
Oh, I'll get you again.
I swear to God. Get away. Get out of my chat, Spambot.
Remove. Out. Oh, and there's 2 versions of them. Oh, wow. So they just
know. Crafty.
Get out of here with your
so crafty
naughty links. This is a family-friendly channel, spam bots. Not that you can hear us. So let us know. Draft, good or bad? G for good, B for bad. Let us know. I don't. You can do emojis in the chat, right?
Yeah, you can.
Thumbs
and
up
also,
or thumbs down. Let us know. Right?
Who had the best draft in here out of the 8 teams? I think that's a very big debate right now.
Yeah. So
who had it?
So what do you think, Zach? We'll probably talk about this in further detail come Friday for episode 58. Are you still feeling like the Stars pulled it out? Probably among the best?
I'm going to say yes. Still, just because I think that they didn't stick with all linemen for the entire draft. They did switch around to a few talents at the end to get some other variants on the specialty players. My second choice, actually, it's actually the Stallions. I like their variety that they got mixed in. Otherwise, the Generals, I know Stetson Bennett did not get picked up.
Yeah.
Sad day. But hey, look, Adrian Martinez, I think that's someone that has a chance that if he wanted to, he could definitely be a spring football guy that, there is talent there. And I think he fits what Mike Riley wants out of DeAndre Johnson. So, that's my thoughts. I would say the Stars, though. I think you value in these leagues so much more the interior linemen and good quality interior linemen. So I'm going with Bart Andrus. Bart Andrus and company. Andrus and general manager, double checking because I for some reason was spacing it. Michael Woods. I thought they did a solid job today.
Right. And it's interesting. Let me give my take real quick. So
sure. I'd love to. I
don't think the missed pick hindered the Generals very much. I think they went after the guys that they were planning on going after. They seemed to be kind of ready to go. Maybe not with that last pick. Maybe they kind of got bamboozled and somebody got picked. Maybe there was a delay or a reason for a delay there. But I think the Generals did pretty good. I seem to agree with the Stars. But overall, the best draft of the night or the best picks of the day, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt the team that's inevitably going 12-0, all in, Houston Gamblers, baby. We're making it happen. Cannot be stopped. Coach Curtis is going to make us a championship team. You better be ready for it. 2023, no hub needed. We're going to win all our games on the road, and then next year we're going to show the city of Houston. You better watch out, hopefully, because we're moving to town, hopefully, to make it live, hopefully, so the ref can have the biggest spring stock. I'm telling you, spring stock, we're going to be shooting guns in the air, Zach.
Jeez,
it's legal in Texas. We're shooting guns in the air.
I am aware. I am very aware.
But anyway, no, all in fun and games. I would say I think everybody did their part. The one that I did absolutely leave out that I think came through solid and was very strategic and kind of got what they're looking for. I would never count out the Hortons, man. The Hortons up there, the father and son duo, working closely with the general manager. Completely a different feel for the Maulers this year as opposed to last year. Everything from the top down, from the way that they're messaging the team, the way that they're going and talking about the team, just to the types of guys that they're looking to pick up. They look to be the team that I would be scared to play. They're going to be the beat 'em up, break 'em down, real strong and mean team to play against. I have a feeling they're going to be something to reckon with from a defensive side. Now, I know some other people disagreed with me in the chat last time, but I say the best offense is a good defense. Other people disagree with me, but I've seen it time and time again. If you have a defense and you stop people from scoring, well, that's an easy way to win, especially if your defense can put some points on the board as well.
I think if you skew it towards how spring football is, that's what I could say, because early week spring football, generally the best offense is a good defense is what we've seen. Now, credit this year with the USFL, by the way, should be different because that's what they're trying to go for is out of the gate, much more in sync competition. So we'll see about that. By the way, thank you, chat. We have crossed the 3,000 sub threshold. You guys are the real OGs. I don't know what to say. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah. You guys really are the best.
So thank you so much. And thank you for being, just active, engaging. Like I love this community. I love spring football fans. They are, to me, they are the true diehard football fans.
Oh, sure.
I know there's NFL guys that are as passionate as ever, but look, if you support folks that are, you watch the NFL, but you like watch these other leagues and you just love football. I think that's cool.
We're all united by football, if you will.
There you go. Yeah.
And speaking of which, I really hope we get a season 2 of that, because I'm looking forward to seeing just the stories. That was the best part of getting that behind the scenes look at what's going on in the league, especially a new league. And I mean, you get everything from Moose emptying water bottles out of buses and stuff. I mean, everybody's doing their part. And a big part of that is you guys, the community. I mean, without the USFL community, there would be no USFL podcast. And I'll tell you this, from Fox's perspective, it'd be pretty hard to run a football league without a community, right? Yep. Without fans, without people watching, without people supporting the teams. So do me a favor. Like I said, we already talked about the stream, subscribe, all that. But really, I truly mean it. Make sure you're going over to the official USFL socials. Go and like these tweets. Retweet your tweets. Retweet the round recaps. Show the USFL guys. Show the people on Fox that, yeah, boy, we're here. We give an S about the USFL. We're ready for this to rock. And I mean, at the end of the day, they're a small team putting this together, and they're doing a hell of a job. I'd say, one mistake out of all these picks, 80 picks, one spelling mistake. That's a million times better than I would do. Shoot, bro. So I can't be mad at that.
I'll take it, man. Getting posts about the draft picks and all that. Kudos. I mean, seriously, Fox's social team. I mean, like I said, you have to be on ready and have to get on the fly editing for that. I'll give them praise any day of the week. Mm-hmm. I'll do that any day of the week.
And the cool thing is too, we already know that they're hiring for social people in those different cities. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing I'm looking forward to, is starting to get the personalities for these social teams. As we get into the season, maybe a little bit of banter between, at least the hub cities, things like that. I would love to see the Panthers social guy just going to town. I
have to say this, and I saw it in chat. I wanted to try and confirm it on social, but they probably saw the same thing. Mm-hmm. There's no official league transaction, but I'm going to bet it's real because of the fact that, USFL News USFL, as it is on Twitter, it's pretty damn accurate.
Oh, yeah.
Tanner Bennett signed with the Panthers.
See, I wouldn't doubt it. Again, to me, it feels like...
Man signed. I'm sorry. I love Tanner Bennett. To me, I think is one of those guys that's low-key, dark horse guy in the Big Ten, good production.
Right. You may have just won the draft.
That's huge to me. That QB room is now way more competitive.
Right.
Out of the gate. And I like Josh Love and Eric Berrier. Mm-hmm. But having a guy like Tanner Morgan, I think is a pretty solid, mid, QB that I think would go in later rounds. That's freaking incredible.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. And I, like I said, I felt like something was happening with just the fact that we're already seeing
dang it, I'm missing a lot of this stuff. These guys are saying a lot of things. I'm now just catching up.
Okay.
Chase Bryce is signed with the Gamblers.
All in, baby. Not messing around.
The grudge match is going to be electric. I don't care who's in.
Now, I'll tell you this. So if that's the case, because I think both of those teams showed highlights of those players, does that then mean Martinez is signed with the Generals? I would think
that would be a curveball, because I thought Johnson, to me, is a lock. But if that's the case and they lock in Martinez... Mm-hmm. I mean, that competition's open. So that blows the doors on the competition. My thing is, like I said, I bet full dollar, like I said, that News USFL has nailed those and that he is correct.
Oh, he's always on spot. Yeah.
No, he is. The dude's by the way, dude's in our Discord. So if you want to chat with him too, seriously, if you aren't in the Discord, which is going to be in the description of any of our videos, and especially if you're a new subscriber, you'll get the link with any of the videos now. I mean, we got a lot of insider stuff that gets thrown around in there. Seriously, if you want access and to talk to people that are in the know, that alone, jump on in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just besides the USFL guys. That's not just one league. We talk about a lot of these and know our stuff.
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, beyond USFL, I know we're here with the USFL podcast, but we have rooms for the XFL, CFL, fan controlled football, war ball. If you don't know what war ball is, I guarantee you're going to want to learn about it. Zach, do you know what I'm talking about with war ball?
Yeah,
I've
heard.
It's silly, but it's in there because I thought it was funny. But I mean, our chat has all sorts of things besides just the USFL. So, hey, if you want to jump on, and like Zach said, insiders, there's all sorts of goofy information that drops in there. If you want to chat with us, we're in there. A lot of the USFL community guys are in there. I know the USFL network guys are in there. I mean, the newsroom Discord is is one of the funnest things that I ever created. I put so much effort into promoting the site, the podcast, the social media, whereas the Discord was just always there. And then one day I'm like, this thing's pretty active.
Yeah.
And so now I do go out of my way to promote it because I want as many people in there as possible. But it's just one of those things that happened organically. And if you're not in there, you're really missing out because we're memeing, we're having a good time, we're dropping real news. The community legend Ducky's in there. And sometimes, because I know I'll get the big finger wag of death on things I say that I know that maybe I'll say it in Discord and on social media. And so maybe you'll get a little early leak sometimes in there as well as I'm writing an article, just to tee up on some things that are coming, or at least know that some news is coming around the way. But what a day, Zach. Hey, we got this knocked out pretty quick, maybe a little bit over around 3.5 hours. Definitely much shorter than our draft last year, which no complaints here, guys. No complaints here. I was very happy with the pace. Honestly, I think this is the perfect amount of time to hold one of these things. I think anything after like 3 hours, it's hard to hold people's attention. I mean, case in point, there's a reason that movies generally don't go over 3 hours. I think it's bad when they go to 2 hours, but here nor there, you can't control everything. Maybe we'll end it off with any questions from the chat. Zach, last thoughts before we head off into the distance?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give my thoughts, and anyone want to drop their questions, go right ahead. I'm glad so many of you are still around to even chat with us, post draft. So thank you for tuning, for staying along. Like I said, I think this is an important step for, building, I think, longevity and kind of just showing that the seriousness of what the league wants to do. Because I know many people could take this as a forced show. I see this as a opportunity that is saying, hey, we really do commit ourselves beyond year two. Because, I mean, again, a lot of these, not all these players we've seen, I guess, like I said, a few of them have supposedly signed. But that being said, not all of them are going to. And you want to, having those rights showing, hey, we want to talk about the future. I think that's what this signifies to me. So I think a draft like this, like I said, some people can brush it off for the rights thing. I think rights still matter. I think showing an interest in a player still matters like that. Giving an avenue still matters, and having the extra avenues for that still matters for these players. So this is good. I love that they did this today. I love that this is the next step of the league's functions, and that, again, Daryl Johnston talks about the crawl, walk, run mentality that the USFL and Fox Sports are taking. I like the mentality. I like the idea. Put yourself in the right phases to hit the right steps to build yourself responsibly and in the correct direction. That's what I've liked so far with the USFL, and it's good quality football.
And like we've said it before, and I'll say it again, whatever it takes to make sure that the USFL is around for a year 2, a year 3, a year 4, a year 5, year 10, whatever, you name it, I'm totally fine with. So if it's the matter of start in Birmingham, move to 4 hubs, and slowly get to 8, hey, no complaints here. Now, I will say the faster you get to Houston, the better, because we're going all in.
All in.
I'm going to keep adding numbers. 48, 4 undefeated seasons in a row. If you get us down in Houston, baby, I'm going to get signed up so hard. But anyway, I'm so ready just to see this league grow. And I think it's kind of fun to be a part of it from the beginning. Little known fact about me, guys, I come from the music industry way, way, way back in the day. I used to be in a band, traveled all over the country. I'm
Yes,
not
he
the
did.
face of the band, but I was in it nonetheless. And one thing you'll know is, and this is when it comes to like signing contracts and things like that. Like we had signed a contract, George Funk and the Funkadelic and
maybe
we want
I can't.
funk.
Oh, then
That guy, George Funk, Kid Rock, all that. We signed with his producer, Mike Clark. We were under his record label, under Island Records. And you know what the first thing they wanted to do? What? Change our name. Change our name. And you say, why? Why would they want to change your name? Well, here's why. Because they do all sorts of research and development and surveying and all this and that. And they say, people like to be something from the very beginning. They don't want to have to go out and find a whole back catalog of music. You could be band A, but if you're band B, you're band B now. You're a brand new band. You never existed before in Island Records' eyes, right? And so band B becomes, I've been a fan of band B since day one. People love that. And so I think there is that opportunity with things like the USFL, right? We're here from the beginning. People are watching it build from the ground up. And to me, there's a little bit more satisfaction of coming into it and watching that growth period, watching the steps that they're taking. And I mean, even to a certain extent, being a part of it. If you're going to a game, you're part of that. If you're buying a t-shirt, if you're buying a hat, you're buying a lanyard, you are an important piece in making sure that this league grows, survives, whatever it might be. And it doesn't even have to be monetary either. Share the videos, like their posts, like the official social media posts for the USFL. Share those posts, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those things help get the word out, and we're starting to see it build. Like I'd say I'm pretty happy with the engagement that we see with the USFL and their social media posts. And nothing against the XFL, but the XFL, when you look at their followers, they have more followers, but the USFL is getting more engagement. Mm-hmm. No, again, I'm a marketing guy, so there's context that you could be put into place. Yeah, those other accounts were essentially dormant for the last 2.5, 3 years, whereas the USFLs have been pretty active and blah, blah, blah. But there is something to say about that, and I'm very curious to see how the markets respond. I think Memphis is going to be all out, if you will, for the showboats there. I think they're going to show up well. Detroit, I mean, they got a big stadium to fill. Ford Field's big, but I think they're looking at 10,000, trying to get 10,000 in there.
Yeah, I think 10.
I think they can do that.
Between 10 and 15, I think is what they're trying to target.
I think they could do that. I mean, I look at the Roughnecks game. So the Roughnecks brought in 12,000 people, right? A lot of people say, wow, that's a great number. I put in some context. Well, they're down 50% from where they were in 2020. Opening game of 2022 was 24,000, and it only went up from there. So now we're starting at a lower number, but 12,000 is definitely formidable. But the fact that they brought in 12,000, I think we can do the same in Detroit. I think the big thing is affordability, making it easy to get there. Just things I've seen when I lived in Detroit. If you bought like a Pistons ticket, you could take the bus for free. So same with the Lions. If you bought a Lions ticket, I don't know if it's still that way, but you get a bus ticket to go down. So I feel like that's some stuff. Maybe not for season one. I know that's a lot. I don't know what I don't know what you have to do to get that deal. But I feel like those, man, if you can get some stuff like that, you could probably start packing some houses, especially if you have something similar in place to what you did with Birmingham last year, where kids come in free. Anyway, I mean, Birmingham, talking about Birmingham, it's, the official number for Birmingham, that opening game was like 17,000, but you were there, Zach.
It was more than that. They couldn't account for kids because kids came in free.
Well, they came in, because they didn't, and there's
also
curtains.
General mission based issues with it too. So,
I mean, we've heard anywhere between 20 and 25,000, and I was there, and I always thought 17 was a low number. And so, I mean, we'll just say 20 on a low, but potentially up to 25. Knowing that, I think they could pull something out in Detroit. I think Memphis is going to be, just looking at the support that they're getting on social media.
Yep. Yeah.
We will definitely get you some swag. I'm assuming you'll be down in Birmingham for opening weekend. So we'll connect with you, Andrew, offline, and get your sizes and bring you down a shirt and a hat and all that. And, spread the word, sign you up. But yeah, we'll bring you some down there. And if you guys are planning on coming down to Springstock, I got to get with some folks, but I'm hoping that we'll have a limited supply of Springstock shirts that we'll be able to sell there. I'm trying to keep them affordable. That's the thing. I don't feel comfortable charging $25 for a shirt on with what we have in the shop right now. I mean, we make like $2 off them. So the prices, we're not making money. It's more just if you want a shirt, you have the option for a shirt. But I'm talking to a local printing company to see what I can make happen, because hopefully we're going to try to keep them between $15 and $20. I don't really keep a lot of money. Hey, Michigan, week 3, we'll see you there then. Motor City meetup, buddy. We'll have you either way. But yeah, we'll connect with you offline. But at least, yeah, if you guys are coming down to Springstock, we'll hopefully have something. Springstock hats, probably not. There's no way I'm going to find a distributor that can get us hats in time in a way that I can afford. No curtains, right? Whatever. But if you do want a Springstock hat, head over to the link down below. The hats are good quality. They're these ones right here. So they're embroidered. I don't have another one. Well, hey, you know what? Hair reveal is looking pretty today.
Oh,
too.
no, he did it again.
Not even out of control here. I'm kind of getting the Bart Andrus cut, but anyway, nicely embroidered, good quality hats here. Nice bill. If you're a hat person, you'll be happy. So again, if you want one of those, that you're going to have to get that online, because I won't have those ready for the show. But if you want a shirt, we're going to see what we can do. Any other thoughts, Zach, before we head off?
Yeah, more just to confirm, because Chase Newton's posting this up as well. So I did see this. Ace from USFL Network, I guess he's already talked with somebody in the league saying that something has been a gaffe on Fox Sports' end in the app. So Tanner Morgan is not officially signed, apparently. Same goes for Chase Bryce and I think Justin Ford. They're saying it's some issue that it got posted up there. So that's the deal. Just wanted to clarify that, because Chase, I do see that. I wasn't going to leave the chat without mentioning it, because I did see that too before you commented. So thank you for making sure to keep us on the straight and narrow. But yeah, keep an eye on it. Back to the status quo. That got me excited for a second, but hey, sometimes it happens. What do I know? But yeah, I don't know. That's about it, really. I just want to make sure I got that before we headed out.
Oh, yeah. And here's the good news, folks. We're going to be back later this week over on Friday on YouTube and your podcast platform of choice. So surely we're going to have a lot to discuss about the draft. Maybe by then we will have some signings, maybe not, but we'll be there to cover all the news. Maybe we'll have some more news to talk about. Either way, you won't want to miss it. So make sure you're following us over on social media at USFL Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now the TikTok. Since YouTube, hey, you know what? Subscribe, click the bell, builds morale, let you know when we go live, when we drop new episodes. But here's the important thing. You're also entered into the 5K giveaway. Less than 2,000 to go until we're giving away an authentic USFL jersey of your choice with your name or your favorite player's name. So you're going to want to get in on that. But I think that's about it, folks. So until Friday, everybody, let me get this ready. Sign you all up. Oh, yeah.
Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. You didn't get your low self-esteem necessarily because you were born with it. It's got to be a genetic component here. But mostly it comes from narcissists who have their own broken self-esteem, and they want you to have a broken self-esteem, and if you don't have it, they're going to give it to you. You catch it from other people, and you can get rid of it, just like you can get rid of it. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. Low self-esteem is like a virus. You catch it from other people. You do have a constitution. You do have immunity, but it takes a little while, just like getting cold. And the cold wins for a while, and then your natural immunity takes over. Your natural immunity can get you away from this low self-esteem that you caught from other people. It's not in you. It's something you caught. And you're going to beat the shit out of it. Just like your immune system will beat the shit out of it.
Tom Hanks was it.
99% of you plus. Low self-esteem is like a virus.